And a pleasant good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Yolo High Wheelers Baseball live on YouTube Live and on Flow Sports. This is Doug Greenwald again coming to you live today here at Dobbins Stadium. It's the visiting Oakland Ballers and the hometown Yolo High Wheelers. So far, Yolo has won 2 out of the first 3 games, including yesterday by a count of 8-4. So Yolo has won 5 out of its last 6 games. Yolo comes in with an overall record of 13-11. Oakland enters today at 15-12. So another toasty afternoon here in Yolo County, here in Davis, California. The visiting Ballers and the hometown High Wheelers. So again, today we'll meet, and then tomorrow, and then as well as Sunday. So 3 more games in this series before Monday being off, and then Yolo will head to Idaho Falls starting on Tuesday. Standings look like this: Missoula at 20-7. First place 3-game lead over both Boise and Glacier. Now remember, you need to get to at least second place in each half to make the playoffs. 48 games in each half. So right now, Boise and Glacier are tied for that second place playoff spot. Meanwhile, Oakland is 2 back of the playoffs, and Yolo only 2.5 back. And remember, Yolo still has 3 games to make up in this half. So when you see that, oh my goodness, they're 5.5 back of first or 2.5 back of second. Remember, they still have 3 games to make up. You'll recall with the the postponements due to the light issues that we had here back about a month ago. Because of that, when Rocky Mountain comes back here in a few weeks, we will make up those 3 games. So these 2 teams again getting set for action here this afternoon. For the Oakland Ballers, they'll send to the mound right-hander Jacob Reardon. He will make his first professional start. He pitched out a relief here the other night, which was his first ever pro outing, the San Diego State product in Reardon. So no wins, no losses, and he's yet to allow a run. Meanwhile, for the Yellow High Wheelers, it'll be the Rhode Island native, right-hander Sean Gamelin, who gets the ball. This will be his 4th appearance, all as a starter. No wins and 1 loss, and he has an ERA of 9 even. So 4:30 start here this afternoon. Then we go 4:30 tomorrow, 1:05 on Sunday, and then that will send Yolo to the road, as I mentioned, up to Idaho Falls, starting on Tuesday. All right, we're going to take a little bit of a break, and then when we get back, we will give you the starting lineups for this one. You're watching Yolo High Wheelers Baseball on Flow Sports and listening on YouTube Live. And we are back here on Flow Sports and YouTube Live. Doug Greenwald with you. Glad you could join us for Friday afternoon baseball between the Oakland Ballers and the YOLO High Wheelers. All right, let's take a look at the starting lineups. First for the visiting Oakland Ballers under manager Micah Franklin. Oakland's record is at 15-12. And I mentioned this earlier, that Oakland coming into this afternoon is 5 games back of first, but only 2 games back of a playoff spot. Leading off and playing center field is Austin Davis. Batting second and playing left field is Peyton Harden. Batting in the third spot and playing shortstop is Miles Jefferson. Hitting in the cleanup position at third base, Dondre Hubbard. Batting fifth and in right field, Trevor Halsema. Noah Martinez, he bats sixth. He's at first base. J.P. Gates is the designated hitter, and he bats seventh. Hitting eighth and doing the catching, Tyler Lozano, and Brad Burkell bats ninth, and he is at second base. On the mound for the Oakland Ballers is the right-hander Jacob Reardon. So again, for Oakland and manager Micah Franklin, it's Davis, Harden, Jefferson, Hubbard, Halsema, Martinez, Gates, Lozano, Burkell, and the righty Reardon on the mound. For the YOLO High Wheelers and manager Billy Horton, YOLO coming in at 13-11. YOLO 5.5 back of first place Missoula, but again only 2.5 back of a playoff spot. Leading off the designated hitter Braylon Skinner. The shortstop Braylon Marine bats second. Hitting third at second base Bobby Leday. The cleanup batter is the left fielder Jose Gonzalez. In the fifth position, playing at first base, Alejandro Figueiredo. The right fielder Tanner Smith hits sixth. Braden Blackford is slotted seventh at third base. Hitting eighth and doing the catching, Angel Mendoza. And batting ninth in center field, Kyle Guerra. Right-hander Sean Gamelin is on the mound for YOLO. So again, for YOLO and manager Billy Horton, it's Skinner, Marine, and Leday. Gonzalez, Figueiredo, and Smith, Blackford, Mendoza, Guerra, and the righty Gamelin on the mound. The starting lineup here this afternoon. Now down to the field for the national anthem. All right, the national anthem here this afternoon from Davis, California. Again, Doug Greenwald with you here on YouTube Live. Feel free to join us on YouTube Live. I know you can also join us on Flow Sports, but YouTube Live always up for a good baseball chat. And appreciate all of you, regardless of what outlet you are catching the High Wheelers. We appreciate you tuning in or listening in here this afternoon. On the mound for the Yellow High Wheelers today is the right-hander Sean Gamelin. No wins, one loss, ERA of 9 even. Fourth appearance this year for Gamelin, all as a starter. Got a no decision in what was an 8-7 YOLO win June 14th at Northern Colorado. That game, he worked 4 innings, allowed 7 hits, 6 runs all earned. He walked 5 and struck out 4 for Gamelin. One, I guess you could say, minor move made before the game today. Really just a flip-flop on the roster for the High Wheelers. J.C. Ariza, who had missed a little over a week because of a bicep issue. He was taken off the injured list, and Chris Anglin was put on the injured list with an undisclosed injury. So Ariza, who had been starting prior to his injury, he will be moved to the bullpen, and he is active for today's game. And again, Chris Anglin is on the injured list. So that is the one transaction made by the High Wheelers here this afternoon. The umpires for today's game, Tim O'Day, he calls balls and strikes. Ricardo Rodriguez is the umpire at first base, and the umpire around at third is Bill Shortridge, your Pioneer League assigned umpires for this afternoon's contest. So we are again set to go here this afternoon. Fourth game of this 6-game series. Yolo has won 2 out of the first 3 games. Oakland leads the season series 5-4. So Austin Davis to lead it off, facing the right-hander, and Sean Gamelin, who is 24 years old, sports a black beard. He is ready to go out of the 3-quarter windup in today's first pitch to Austin Davis, low inside, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes the count. And we are underway at 4:36 on this Friday afternoon, this sun-filled afternoon from Davis. The windup and the 1-0, and that's low outside, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes, and I say sun-filled, it's not an exaggeration. Sun-filled and heat-filled, 96 degrees here at first pitch. Count to Davis, the game's first batter, is 2 balls and no strikes as Gamelin delivers, and Davis taking all the way, looks low and in, ball 3. And the count's now at 3 balls and no strikes to Davis at 3:46. He has 4 home runs, 19 runs batted in. Gamelin, white pants up to his knees, delivers, and Davis taking all the way, looks inside, ball 4, and a 4-pitch walk to get things cooking here this afternoon. So Davis, who was 2 for 5 yesterday, and overall in the series has 4 hits. He draws a leadoff walk, and immediately, and seldom you see this unless it's injury related. Something just must not look right. But Billy Horton, the manager, after just 1 batter, is coming out to talk to Gamelin. I mean, this is obviously just 1 batter in. Gamelin walked the first first batter on 4 pitches. So Gamelin, Billy Horton, and the catcher in Angel Mendoza all out on the mound to have a discussion. But seldom that 1 batter in, unless Billy Horton noticed that Gamelin and Mendoza, I have no idea. Maybe they weren't on the same page. Tough for me to even speculate. But Billy Horton now back to that yellow first base dugout. So obviously that's 1 mound visit already. Maybe Billy's just getting the mound visit out of the way, but just 1 batter into the game. It'd be like a basketball equivalent of, a team scores the first 2 points. 12 seconds into the game, and the opposing team calls a timeout. That's almost what that is like right there. All right, now it's Peyton Harden who comes up. So Davis at first, no score. And the pitch to Harden, that's outside. 5-0 miss now by Gamelin. 1 ball, no strikes. Davis 13 for 16 in steal attempts this year. 13 steals for Davis, tops on the Oakland club. 1 ball, no strikes the count. Outfield shallow around toward left. And the pitch to Harden, and that drops into the zone on the outer half of the plate. Strike 1-0-1. For Harden, 337, no homers, and he has 12 runs batted in. 1 ball, 1 strike the count. Big hole out in right center field, and Sean Gamelin delivers, and Harden a swing and a miss to the breaking ball. Strike 2. And the count now at 1 ball and 2 strikes from Gamelin. So Sean features a curveball, slider, and a changeup in addition to a fastball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And the pitch on the way to Harden, tap foul up along first. And the count holding at 1 ball and 2 strikes to Harden with Miles Jefferson on deck. Well, Gamelin, 5'9", 210 pounds. Again, 24 years old, out of West Kingston, Rhode Island. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Not a very big lead by Davis, but again, he's got good speed. And the 1-2 pitch, and now time called. So Ball went all the way to the backstop, but time had been called by plate umpire Tim O'Day. So we'll try it again at 1-2 strikes. Gamelin last season was in the Major League Draft League. Gamelin was with the Williamsport team. The Crosscutters was the pitcher of the year for that ball club. 1-2 strikes. No score, top of the first. And Gamelin from the set kicks and delivers, and Harden spins and spoils this one foul left side. 1-2 strikes. It stays to Harden. Gamelin last year with Williamsport was 6-0 with a 3.32 earned run average in 10 games, all as a starter. 1-2 strikes the count with Jefferson on deck. 0-0, top of the first inning. Middle infield looking to turn 2. Harden grounded into a double play yesterday, but generally a tough guy to double up. Harden a single and a walk in yesterday's contest. We've got 6 hits in the series, does Harden. 1-2 strikes. And Gamelin again from the belt. Delivers, and Harden takes up and away. 2-2. The runner at first, Davis, always looks like he's going to go. I mean, he bluffs considerably, takes a couple of steps toward first, or toward second, I should say. So 2-2 strikes the count. And on this very hot and slightly breezy afternoon from Davis, California. So 2-2 strikes. Gamelin again delivers, and that's up and away, ball 3 to Harden. Well, I'm going to have to think Davis is going to go here on 3-2. So 3-2 strikes the count with nobody out. Top of the first inning. Gamelin again, the extreme first base side of the rubber. From the belt, Davis does go, and Harden takes, and that's blown away, ball 4. So back-to-back walks to open the ball game. Davis up to second, Harden to first. And now it's Miles Jefferson who bats. So Gamelin, 5 walks in his last start. And no decision at Northern Colorado. And I can see somebody running down toward that bullpen, toward that. Again, we can't really see if anybody's warming up, but can certainly see if somebody's running down. That doesn't mean whoever's running down is going to be warming up, but someone was running down there. Now it's Jefferson, and he takes up and in from Gamelin, ball 1. 1-0 strikes to Miles Jefferson, who's missed a couple of games in the series due to a injury. 365, he has 1 home run, and he has 18 runs batted in. So Davis at second, Harden at first. And Gamelin love a double play ball here, and Jefferson takes in and off the glove of the catcher Mendoza, but no advance by either runner. The ball rolled over toward the third base side of home. And the count's now with 2-0 strikes to Jefferson with Andre Hubbard on deck. Gamelin mentioned 0-1 record. His 0-1 mark, his 1 loss, was at Oakland on June 7th. 2-0 strikes, 0-0, and the pitch, and that's inside, ball 3. And Gamelin in jeopardy of walking the first 3 batters now. So 3-0 strikes to Miles Jefferson out of the Houston area, 23 years old, from Katy, Texas. The kick in the 3-0, that's way inside, very high, nowhere close to being a strike. That is ball 4, and the first 3 batters have walked now. So bases loaded and nobody out. And now it's Andre Hubbard licking his chops with the bags full and nobody out. 318 for Hubbard. He has 6 home runs, tied with Brad Burkell and Trevor Halsema for most on Oakland. Hubbard has 26 runs batted in, and he's got a chance for a few more right here. So Davis at third, Harden at second, Jefferson at first. And Gamelin delivers, and Hubbard taking all the way, takes strike 1 on the outside corner. No balls and a strike to Hubbard. Facing Sean Gamelin out of Rhode Island College, Division III program. He pitched for the Anchormen. No balls, 1 strike. And Hubbard a swing and a miss, trying to hit a grand slam right there. Comes up empty, strike 2. No balls and 2 strikes. Now, Hubbard took Gamelin for a home run in that game in Oakland back on June 7th. One of the 4 homers Hubbard had in that series. The 0-2 here, swing and a miss, strike 3, and he is out. So Gamelin kept that ball away from Hubbard, and Hubbard said, well, I'm going to keep swinging, but he comes up empty. So that is the first out. So far it's either been a walk or a strikeout for Gamelin. And now it's Halsema who bats, the team's leading hitter at .372, 6 homers. Again, that's tied for most on the Ballers, and a team-high 31 runs batted in. Outfield, a few steps to the right, and the pitch to Halsema from Gamelin, inside ball 1. And the count's at 1 ball and no strikes. So obviously Gamelin would love the double play ball right here. So Davis at third, Harden at second, Jefferson at first. 1 ball, no strikes, the count. Big hole in left center. And the 1-0. And a breaking ball, swing and a miss, strike 1 from Gamelin. And the count's at 1 ball and 1 strike to Trevor Halsema. Halsema 1 for 4 yesterday, a walk, a single, a run scored. Runners everywhere in the 1-1, and that drops in nicely, strike 2 on the inner half to Halsema. And now the count reaches 1 ball and 2 strikes with Noah Martinez on deck. 1-2 the count to Halsema. Again, the middle infield, love a ground ball right here. Obviously right at one of the infielders I'm talking about. The kick on the 1-2, and Halsema swinging a miss at a slider, strike 3, and he is out. So it's been 3 walks and now 2 strikeouts for Gamelin. Well, it's been one extreme or the other. Well, still not out of the woods yet. That's a second out, no score, top of the first, and now it's Noah Martinez who comes up. Now he digs in at .293. He has 4 home runs, and he's got 16 runs batted in. The runner still at every base, and Gamelin again trying to work out of this maze. Kicks and delivers, and Martinez takes, and that's strike 1 called on the outside corner. And the count's at no balls and 1 strike to Martinez, with J.P. Gates wetting on deck. Martinez resting that bat just atop his left shoulder, his back shoulder. The kick in the 0-1, and Noah swings, and he drives one to center field. Kyle Guerra is right there, and he makes the easy catch. And nothing easy about this first inning except nobody scored. Gamelin walks, the bases loaded in order, the first 3 batters, and then strikeout, fly out. No runs, no hits, no errors, 3 left, just like that. After half an inning, Oakland nothing, and YOLO coming up on Flow Sports and YouTube Live. After half an inning, it is Oakland nothing and YOLO coming up. So it's about a 12-minute half inning. First 3 batters walked, and then you have to use line. I didn't get an exact pitch count, I'll admit that, but you have to use at least 4 pitches when you walk somebody. You have to use at least 3 pitches when you strike someone out, and there was a lot of both in that top of the first. Braylon Skinner leads it off, no score, and he takes inside from Jacob Reardon, ball 1. One ball, no strikes. Skinner, Marine, and Leday to face Reardon in his second pro outing. The San Diego State alum who grew up near Atlanta takes low and in, ball two. 2 balls and no strikes to Skinner, who is the DH today. Normally we see him in center field. The 2-0 pitch, and that's just a bit outside. Goes all the way to the screen, ball 3. So 3 balls and no strikes, the count to Skinner. Which is the second time this year he's been the designated hitter. The kick on the 3-0. And that's a strike on the inside corner. And the count's now at 3 balls and 1 strike to Skinner, who pretty much has been the everyday leadoff man for the High Wheelers. The line by Reardon, and the 3-1 pitch, and Skinner takes outside, ball 4, and a leadoff walk. So on the other side of things in the first inning, it's a leadoff walk. Skinner coming in, by the way, at .364, 3 homers and 20 runs batted in. So each side has seen the leadoff man walk here in the first inning, no score. And now it's Braylon Marine who digs in at .389, 3 homers, 21 runs batted in. So Skinner, good speed at first base. And Reardon from the high set delivers. And that's very high and in, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Skinner, 11 steals. He's been caught 4 times. High Wheelers are 49 for 60 in steal attempts this year. So Marine, again, a team high in hitting streak, meaning current hitting streak of 11 games. As he takes, and that's low ball 2, 2-0. Marine 2 for 4 yesterday, 2 runs scored, couple of stolen bases. During the hitting streak for Marine, he's 25 for 52. So within that 11 games, he's got 25 hits. He's hitting .481 in that streak. And he's reached base safely 23 times over his last 9 games. So 2 balls and no strikes the count. Nothing, bottom of the first. And the pitch to Marine way inside and all the way to the backstop. That'll be a wild pitch. So Skinner moves up to second as the catcher in Lozano has to go and pick up the baseball. So now a runner at second base. And nobody out. So Marine, and obviously he's a guy that can drive the ball all over the place. Doesn't really need to drop a sacrifice here, but possibility of a bunt, possibility here just to get a ground ball to the right side to get Skinner over, and the pitch to Marine, and he takes a strike on the outside corner. Slider there, 3-1. Well, the scouting report we have on Reardon, and I know he pitched briefly the other night, was he can strike out a lot of guys, and he can also be wild. And I know he's not been through a second batter yet today, but so far he's been wild. The kick in the 3-1, and that's down the middle, clearly a strike. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Braylon Marine. Billy Horton is the Yolo third base coach and manager. And coaching over at first base is the bench coach, Gary Davenport. So 3 balls and 2 strikes the count. Outfield not terribly deep straight away, and Reardon's payoff. And Marine takes that's way inside, ball 4. So he'll trot down to first base. Will Braylon Marine. And now it's Bobby Leday who will come to the plate. It's also now 13 straight games in which Marine has reached base safely. Now it's Leday, who earlier in the year had a streak of 13 straight games, reaching base safely. He digs in, and the pitch to Leday, and he flies this one high to left field. Harden back to make the catch, and no advance by either runner. And I say back, I mean the ball wasn't hit all that far out in the left field, but he went back, and I think with anticipation of the possibility of Skinner, who's got good speed, tagging and going to third. Now, that didn't happen, but Harden dropped back and was ready to get a little momentum there to make a throw to third, but as it turns out, the ball just was not hit deep enough for Skinner to advance. So Skinner holds at second, Marine holds at first, and that's the first out, and I'm sure Reardon a little bit of a sigh of relief right there, knowing at least one is out. And now it's Jose Gonzalez who bats. With the game no score, bottom of the first, and he takes down the middle, strike 1. 0-1 to Gonzalez at .353, 6 home runs, 24 runs batted in. 1 for 4 yesterday with an RBI single. Big hole in right center, and the pitch from Reardon to Gonzalez, and that's a strike on the inside corner, 0-2. Jacob Reardon, 6'4", 220 pounds, born on Halloween. back in 1999, 24 years old, and played at San Diego State. No balls, 2 strikes. Outfield shallow, well around to the left, and the pitch, and Gonzalez takes outside, ball 1. And the count's at 1 ball and 2 strikes with Alejandro Figueiredo on deck. Doug Greenwald with you here at Dobbins Stadium. No score. Bottom of the first inning. Yolo and Oakland. So Skinner at second, Marine at first, and the 1-2, and Gonzalez takes up and away, ball 2. So the count now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, Reardon pitched here on Tuesday night. Again, that was his first pro outing. Worked 2/3 of an inning. Gonzalez was the first batter he faced, and he walked Gonzalez. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on. 0-0, man the pitch, and Gonzalez swings. Ground ball through the hole between first and second, right field, base hit. Billy Horton's going to wave Skinner to the plate, and he will come around and score standing up, and it makes it 1-0 Yolo. Marine up to second. So give Gonzalez an RBI single. That's his 25th run batted in. So 1-0 now in favor of Yolo. That's now 12 RBIs for Gonzalez in his now last 8 games. So now it's Figueiredo who bats with first and second and 1 out on a 1-0 advantage for Yolo. Figueiredo is first 2 hits actually corrected, he had a hit on Wednesday. Yesterday he had 2 hits for Yolo, including his first Yolo home run, 2-run homer to right. Overall, he's got 4 home runs this year, does Figueiredo. When you factor his Billings and Yolo totals, and it's the same league, so say the totals and level of talent about consistent. 4 home runs on the year. And as 25 runs batted in for Figueiredo, who hit .329 in 21 games for Billings this year. So 1-0 Yolo here in the first inning. So Marines at second, Gonzalez is at first. And the pitch to Figueiredo. Fastball, swing and a miss, strike 1. And the count's at no balls and 1 strike from Jacob Reardon. So 1-1 the count. Outfield medium depth and straight away. Middle infield looking to turn 2. Although big hole on the right side of the diamond. The kick in the 0-1. And Figueiredo a swing and a miss at a curve. And that is strike 2. And the count's now at no balls and 2 strikes to Figueiredo. I mentioned Figueiredo coming over from Billings. Second pro year for Figueiredo, who was also with Billings last year. For the Venezuelan native who actually now lives in Ohio. I talked to him the other day. No balls, 2 strikes. 1 out, 2 on. 1-0 Yolo. And the pitch, Figueiredo fists one in the air, foul right side. And the count holds at no balls and 2 strikes with Tanner Smith, the right fielder, on deck. But Figueiredo went to college at Florida Gulf Coast University in Fort Myers. Beautiful baseball complex down there. I've had a chance to go take a look at that. The 0-2 with the runners going way over there to Figueroa. Throw to third is not in time. Actually, only 1 runner took off. Marine stole third. Holding at first is Gonzalez. So give Marine a steal of third base. That's his 8th steal in 9 tries this year. Meanwhile, the count is at 1 ball and 2 strikes to Figueiredo. So now, yeah, you still have the double play intact, but now a fly ball deep enough could add to the lead. Maybe a slow ground ball gets a run in. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count to Figueiredo. 1-0 Yolo. Bottom of the first, Reardon delivers, and Figueiredo takes a high fastball, ball 2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Figueiredo. Had 41 homers in his college career at Florida Gulf Coast and Fort Myers. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and the pitch, and that swung on and popped up foul first base side. And the count holds at 2-2 to the stocky first baseman Figueiredo, 6'2", 260 pounds. So 2-2 the count to Alejandro Figueiredo. So Marines at third, Gonzalez at first. Gonzalez being held on by Martinez. And the 2-2, and that's high and in, ball 3 from Reardon. So 3-2 now. Reardon, capital Riordan. Jacob Reardon. 3 balls, 2 strikes with 1 out. And the pitch, Gonzalez goes, and Figueredo takes low and in, and that's ball 4. And that'll load the bases. So that's the 3rd walk allowed by Reardon. So each pitcher in the first inning has walked 3, and that's not something you see too often. And it's Tanner Smith who bats. 1-0 Yolo, still only 1 out. Tanner bats at .263, 2 homers, 12 RBIs, and he takes a fastball for a strike on the outside corner. No balls and 1 strike to Tanner Smith. Sits safely in 11 of his last 12 games, 2 for 4 yesterday with a double and 2 RBIs. And the 9-game hitting streak snapped here on Tuesday, but since then has had hits again in his last 2 games. So as I said, 11 of his last 12 in which he's hit safely. So Moreen's at 3rd, Gonzalez at 2nd, Figueroa at 1st, and the pitch to Smith dribbled foul up along first, strike 2. And the count reaches no balls and 2 strikes. Well, Oakland had runners all over the place early and often on the top of the inning and did not score. Yolo at least has scored a run here in this inning and has runners all over the place. The 0-2, and Smith looks at strike 3, outside corner. Breaking pitch gets him, and he is out. So Reardon, a much-needed strikeout there. That's his first punch out this afternoon. 2 down, and now Braden Blackford. He comes up. Did not play yesterday. .276 for Blackford. He has 4 home runs, and he has 15 runs batted in. Blackford, a couple of hits here on Wednesday, and he takes a high fastball inside ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Blackford overall 3 hits in the series to go along with 3 RBIs in the set. All 3 of his RBIs came in the first game of the series here on Tuesday, and that's 17-1 Yolo win. The 1-0 with the bases loaded, swing and a miss at a fastball, strike 1 to Blackford. 1 ball and 1 strike. With the catcher, Angel Mendoza, on deck. So Moreen is at 3rd, Gonzalez at 2nd, Figueredo is at 1st. 1 ball, 1 strike to count with 2 out. And the pitch from the set, and Blackford takes, and that's low and in from Reardon, ball 2. So 2 balls and 1 strike to count. Have to think that Blackford's going to be looking at a pretty good pitch to hit right here. Here's the 2-1, and that swung on and driven high in the air toward right field. Halsema is back, and so is this baseball. Grand slam, Braden Blackford, and it's 5-0 Yolo. Well, I just said Braden Blackford's going to be looking at a pretty good pitch to hit, and it was a pretty good pitch to hit. A grand slam for Blackford. So he hits the jackpot there, 5-0 now Yolo. Home run for Braden Blackford is his 5th. And RBI 16, 17, 18, and 19. Second grand slam hit by the High Wheelers this year. Bobby Leday has the other. And that's going to be all today for Jacob Reardon, who departs back to that Oakland third base dugout. So we have a pitching change. We are in the bottom of the first inning. Yolo 5, Oakland nothing. Back to tell you about the new Ballers pitcher in a moment on YouTube Live and Flow Sports. Well, we are on the bottom of the first inning. 5-0 Yolo. The grand slam by Braden Blackford, hitting the jackpot here. Again, the second grand slam by Yolo this season. We talked about the other one, Bobby Leday, here back on May 28th against Grand Junction. So the afternoon is done for Jacob Reardon, who last 2/3 of an inning allowed 2 hits, 5 runs all earned. He walked 3, struck out 1, a wild pitch, and allowed the home run to the grand slam to Blackford. So Abraham De Leon, who was the losing pitcher yesterday for the Ballers, De Leon comes on to do the pitching today. No wins, 2 losses, 11th appearance, his 9th out of the bullpen, and his ERA is at 7.02. For the Houston area native and Abraham De Leon. All right, back to action here as Angel Mendoza, the 8th man to bat in the inning. He digs in 5-0 Yolo. And De Leon, first base side of the rubber, out of the windup and the pitch. And that hit Mendoza. And Mendoza looking at De Leon, and De Leon looking at Mendoza, and those two having a little chat. And Mendoza finally completes his trip to first base. So, not sure. The umpires are now meeting at the moment. Now, De Leon mentioned pitched yesterday. He was the second pitcher in yesterday. He came in. In fact, the first batter De Leon faced yesterday was Mendoza. And Mendoza grounded out to shortstop against De Leon yesterday. But now warnings are going to be issued to both sides. Well, Mendoza, as I said, he and De Leon were chirping a little bit at each other. So Mendoza hit with a pitch. Mendoza actually coming into, still at the same average. Mendoza 217 with a homer and 10 runs batted in. Tim O'Day, the home plate umpire, went out to literally hand deliver the ball back to the pitcher De Leon, also as a way to, I don't think both players had to be separated, but just to, as a precautionary reason. But anyway, it's been quite an eventful first inning here. Proof you come out to the ballpark and you never know what you're going to see from game to game. Tim O'Day, the plate umpire, talking to the third base umpire, Bill Shortridge. So we've seen a little bit of everything so far on both sides of the first inning. We've seen the grand slam, warning's been issued, both starting pitchers having walked 3, one pitcher getting out of it. And now another meeting between the Oakland manager Micah Franklin, who's now taken off his green batting helmet. Had a long talk with Micah yesterday about this league, and he was in this league as a player about 30 years ago when he was in the red system at Billings. Needless to say, the league has changed quite a bit. He and now Billy Horton having a discussion. So, anyway, we've got a lot happening here this afternoon. It's the plate umpire Tim O'Day, third base umpire Billy Shortridge. Those two are meeting with both managers up along the third base side. 5-0 Yolo here in the bottom half of the first inning. We might be in for a long day, folks. Well, the pitcher De Leon allowed to, I guess, take some soft tosses with the shortstop, or whoever he's warming up with, the third baseman and Hubbard. They're allowing to play some catch here. Micah Franklin, I'm not sure what all this is about. Again, both sides have been warned about any further possible throwing incidents, and who knows if that was done on purpose. But Micah Franklin Still talking to Bill Shortridge. I mean, those two are. I don't want to say this is heated, but rather an emotional conversation. Seems Micah's just kind of shaking his head. It's like he's just trying to. Sort of looks like a lawyer pleading with a jury right there is what he's doing. All right, looks like we are finally going to get back to action here. And now the ninth man to bat in this inning with a 5-0 YOLO lead is Kyle Guerra. 286, no homers, 5 RBIs, pinch ran and scored a run yesterday. So Mendoza, not much speed, the runner at first base, and now Abraham De Leon from the belt. First base side of the rubber, ran the pitch to Guerra. Breaking ball taken for a strike on the inside corner. No balls and a strike. De Leon, again from the Houston area, 5'10", 180 pounds. He's 24 years old. No balls, 1 strike to count. And the kick and the pitch, and that's taken inside for a ball. Ball 1. And the count's now at 1 ball and 1 strike. So Guerra getting the start in center field this afternoon. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. And the pitch, and Guerra takes that strike 2 call on the outside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Guerra in center today. Justin Kirby serves as one of the regular outfielders, but Justin is not in the lineup this afternoon. Kirkland Banks also has the day off. The 1-2, and Guerra swing and a miss, high fastball, strike 3. And he is out for a strikeout for De Leon. But the High Wheelers send 9 to the plate, capped on the grand slam. The 2-out slam by Braden Blackford. 5 runs, 2 hits, no errors, 1 left. After 1, it is 5-0. YOLO leading Oakland on YouTube Live and Flow Sports. Well, we move on to the top of the second inning. That first inning was about 40 minutes, it seems. Well, had a lot going on. You had warnings issued, as I mentioned, 6 combined walks, a grand slam, a pitching change. So we'll see how it takes off for the next 8 innings. And Sean Gamelin, talk about, he's had 2 different games within an inning here today. J.P. Gates leads it on, but he takes low 1-0. I'm not talking like a game that was a 2-run game in the 6th and then became a 7-run game by the 7th inning. He's already had 2 totally different kind of games in now the first 2 innings today. I'll explain more in a moment. Bottom third of the Oakland order as Gates takes a strike on the outside corner from Gamelin. 1 ball, 1 strike. It's Gates, Lozano, and Brukel to face Gamelin. So in the first inning for Gamelin, remember he walked the first 3 batters and then got out of trouble without allowing a run. The windup in the 1-1, and Gates spoils one high and foul down the left field side, strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes with a 5-0 YOLO advantage, top of the second leading Oakland. In that first inning, Galen walked the first three, and then it was strikeout, flyout. And he left that mound thinking, wow, how did I not allow any runs? The windup in the 1-2, and Gates takes low 2-2, and now he takes the mound in the second inning. It's not like, it's 0-0. It's not like it's 1-0. An inning later, he finds himself going from a bases loaded, nobody out situation to now a 5-run lead. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count. Gamelin out of the 3-quarter windup in the pitch, and Gates swings, and he flies this one toward right center field. And this ball is going to be caught by the center fielder, Gare. I had a long way to go for it. I had to hesitate right there. Wanted to make sure that he caught up to that one. That ball was pretty well struck. But Kyle Gare, the center fielder, far to his left, running it down. And J.P. Gates is out, 1 away. And Gates in his first few pro games out of the University of Tampa. Gates so far 2 for his first 6 professionally. So now it's the catcher, Tyler Lozano, the Stockton native, and he takes a strike on the inside corner. No balls and 1 strike. 204 for Lozano, no homers, 5 runs batted in. 5-0 YOLO. The windup by Gamelin and the pitch, and Lozano is swinging a foul to the backstop, strike 2. And the count's now at no balls and 2 strikes, with Brad Brukel waiting on deck. Outfield medium depth straightaway. Gamelin, who walks out of the windup in the 0-2 pitch, and that's outside for a ball. And the count's now at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Gamelin, what he does with nobody on, he raises his 2 arms above his black cap, raises it high, then brings it down. The glove in front of his face now delivers, and the 1-2 grounded foul up along third. And the count remains at 1 ball and 2 strikes. So, as I said, he holds the glove way above the cap, and then it's almost like watching an elevator come down. Elevator goes up, elevator comes down. That's what he does with his glove, and then goes out of the windup as his 1-2 pitch, and that's very high into the backstop, ball 2. And the count's at 2 balls and 2 strikes to Lozano. Both Lozano and Colton Horner, the other Oakland catcher, both are from really the same area of California, about an hour apart. Lozano from Stockton, Horner from Turlock. Turlock about an hour south of Stockton. The kick on the 2-2. Strike 3 called inside corner. And Lozano is down on strikes looking. So 3rd strikeout for Gamelin. 2 outs, 2nd inning, top half. It's 5-0 YOLO. And now Brad Brukel, who drove home 3 of the 4 Oakland runs yesterday, including a solo homer. He digs in, also had a 2-run single. So Brukel comes to the plate at .317, 6 homers, 24 RBIs. As Gamelin again out of that windup. First base side of the rubber deals, and Brukel takes low, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. So Brukel, one of 7 Oakland players hitting at least 300, all of whom have been with the team all season. I mean, I'm not talking about a guy like Gates who's been here for a couple of days, but guys who certainly have had extensive time so far with Oakland. As Brukel takes inside, ball 2. And the count's now at 2 balls and no strikes to Brukel. Oakland, this is their 28th game, with 2-1 pitch, and that's swung on and missed, strike 2. And the count's at 2 balls and 2 strikes. On deck, the top of the order, and the center fielder in Austin Davis. Counts at 2-1 to Brukel. The windup and the pitch, and Brukel takes low inside, ball 3. The count's now at 3 balls and 1 strike to Brad Brukel, facing Sean Gamelin, and who went to a couple of different NCAA Division III colleges in New England. Played at Fitchburg State in Massachusetts for a couple of years, and then 3 seasons at Rhode Island College. But his 3 years with RIC, Rhode Island College, was a Little East Conference and all-regional performer. A career 12-2 Rhode Island College record for the Anchormen. 3 balls, 1 strike the count with 2 out. 5-0 YOLO. Top half of the 2nd inning. The windup and the 3-1. And Raquel swings it. He pops this one up. Shallow center. Guerra jogging in. And in the sun, the center fielder Kyle Guerra in shallow center makes the catch. And Gamelin, a rather long 1-2-3 inning, but it's a 1-2-3 inning. Nothing across onto the bottom of the second. 5-0 YOLO leads Oakland on YouTube Live and Flow Sports. Bottom of the second we go, 5-0 YOLO, leading Oakland. Doug Greenwald with you on YouTube Live and Flow Sports. You can join us on this Friday afternoon. And the top of the yellow order for the second time now, the designated hitter, Braylon Skinner, leads it off. He takes outside ball 1-0. So it's Skinner, Marine, and Leday, the same three that got the first inning going. However, that was against Reardon. This is against De Leon, who came on in the first. Abraham Wines and the 1-0 on a high fastball. Swing and a miss, 1-1. Third baseman Hubbard was well in on the grass. And now he backs up and pays well off the line, but just on the lip of the grass at third. 1-1 strike. The windup and the pitch, and that's high outside ball 2. And the count's now at 2-1 strike here at Dobbins Stadium, which opened in 1986 right on the UC Davis campus. Seats 3,500. 2-1 strike. De Leon extreme. First base side of the rubber delivers, and Skinner swings, drives one toward left center field. That's going to get down and roll for a while. Far to his right, the center fielder Davis backhands the ball, comes up with it, throws the second, but diving in safely is Braylon Skinner with a leadoff double as the throw comes in toward the second baseman Burkell. So Braylon Skinner, a leadoff double. Now 14 of his last 16 games in which he has had a hit, 24 hits in that span. 6 straight games for Skinner with at least a hit. And now it's the man who has the longest current hitting streak for YOLO, who digs in. Longest hitting streak overall this year for any high wheeler, who bats. Braylon Marine, who has an 11-game streak. Walked and scored in the first inning, also stole a base, and Braylon takes a strike on the outside corner. No balls and 1 strike with a 5-0 YOLO lead, bottom of the second inning. Outfield medium depth and straightaway. So runner at second base, Skinner. No balls, 1 strike. And De Leon kicks and deals, and Marine takes. That's up and in, ball 1. And the count runs now to 1-1 strike to Marine. Mentioned Marine now, including today, has reached base safely 24 times over his last 10 games. Reached base safely 15 times in the series of Northern Colorado, the last series. For the High Wheelers, the 1-1, and a big swing and a foul ball right side toward the netting. And the count runs at 1-2 strikes to Marine. So I mentioned Justin Kirby, Kirkland Banks, and then Mason Minzy, who serves as the backup catcher to Angel Mendoza. Those three not in the lineup this afternoon. The 1-2 pitch, and Marine, big swing and a foul to the backstop, 1-2. Marine, obviously, situation here to try and get Skinner to third base with less than 2 out. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. Nobody out. Bottom of the second inning. It is 5-0 in favor of the High Wheelers. And the bottom of the first, grand slam by Blackford. Big difference right now. The kick on the 1-2, and now De Leon steps off the rubber. So that's his first disengagement of this plate appearance against Marine. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. Outfield, medium depth and straight away. Middle infield back. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And De Leon set. Skinner takes off for third. Marine swings and a ground ball towards short. To his right, Jefferson, and the shortstop's throw to Martinez at first retires Marine, but Skinner, who took off to third anyway, he will get there. Obviously, it's not a stolen base, but he is at third. Marine now 0 for 1. Runner at third, and with 1 out, this will force Oakland to bring its infield in. And here is the second baseman, Bobby Leday. He flied to left field in the first inning. So 5-0 YOLO, bottom half of the second. So infield is in. Outfield medium depth straight away. And the pitch on the way to Leday from De Leon, and that's a strike on the inside corner. No balls and 1 strike. De Leon yesterday was the losing pitcher. He gave up 4 runs in the 5th inning. That was the difference, obviously, if he was the losing pitcher. The 0-1 is outside ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike, and De Leon faced Leday in that 4-run 5th, and Leday took De Leon for a 2-run single, which turned out to be the game-deciding hit. It was 3-3 at the time, and then Leday made it 5-3 YOLO. Lead at third base by Skinner, and the 1-1, and that swung on and flied high to center field. Sends Davis going back plenty deep to get Skinner home from third. He will tag and just cruise home from third. Sacrifice fly, RBI for Bobby Leday, makes it 6-0 YOLO. So Leday remains 0 for 1, but give him a run batted in. And now Jose Gonzalez bats. 27th run batted in, a team high for Leday. 3rd sac fly of the year for Leday. In case anybody keeps rotisserie sacrifice fly, plays rotisserie sacrifice fly baseball. Now it's Gonzalez, and he takes outside ball 1-0. Justin Kirby, Bobby Leday, Braden Blackford, all with a team high 3 sacrifice flies this year. Wonder if the guys really keep tabs on that. The 1-0 pitch, and Gonzalez a pop-up foul left side. And that is a strike, and the count is a 1-1 to Jose. So Skinner to lead off double, and even though he was taken off for third, but still Marine was able to ground out. Skinner took third on the ground out to short, and Leday the sac fly right there. 1 ball, 1 strike, 6-0 YOLO, bottom second. And the pitch Gonzalez takes, and that's high for a ball. 2 balls and 1 strike to count. Jose an RBI single and a run scored in the first inning. 6-3-0 for YOLO. No runs, no hits, no errors for Oakland. De Leon's 2-1, and that's up an in ball 3-1 to Jose Gonzalez, who mentioned his batting behind Bobby Leday, and those two been friends for a long time. I was talking to the 2 of them about that, both from the Houston area. The kick on the 3-1, and a high fastball, swing and a miss, strike 2. And the count's now at 3 balls and 2 strikes. And Leday and Gonzalez have known each other since they were about 13. Played, I guess, Little League ball together, various high school leagues together. The kick on the 3-2, and that's low inside, ball 4 to Gonzalez, so he draws a walk. That's the first walk allowed by De Leon. 6-0 YOLO, bottom of the second inning. And now here is Alejandro Figueiredo. Now they again went to different high schools, but still have known each other for many years, Leday and Gonzalez. And also, tomorrow's starting pitcher Brandon Mitchell. I was talking to all 3 of them together before the game today, that all 3 went to different high schools in the Houston area, but have played baseball with and against each other growing up. Now it's Figueiredo who swings and pops one up foul right side, strike 1. And the count is at no balls and 1 strike. But Mitchell and Bobby Leday were together, or played against each other in Little League. No ball, 1 strike pitch, and that's foul to the backstop, strike 2. So no balls and 2 strikes. But yeah, Mitchell, again, tomorrow's starting pitcher, played on the Pirates Little League, he told me, with Bobby Leday in the Houston area. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And the pitch, outside ball, 2-2-2. And then Gonzalez told me that when he had, even though he never played baseball, Texas Tech had was enrolled there for a year. He and Mason Minzy were roommates at Texas Tech. Gonzalez and Mason Minzy. The 1-2 on the way, just high ball 2. 2-2. So all sorts of connections, and whether it be the Houston area or college playing in Lubbock, among those 3. Or I guess I could say 4 when I throw Mason. You know, Mason's not from Texas, but was part of the Texas Tech group with Gonzalez. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 6-0 High Wheelers. The pitch, and Figueredo a foul to the backstop. And the count holds at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Alejandro, he walked in the first inning against Reardon, and then that was the third of the walks allowed by Reardon, and that eventually led to the 2-out grand slam by Blackford. 2 balls, 2 strikes, the count with 2 out. Ken Gonzalez at first base, being held on by Martinez. Gonzalez 2 steals. He's been caught once. He goes, the 2-2 to Figueredo, taken high throw to second base. Gonzalez is safe with a slide. Throw was taken by the second baseman Burkell right on top of the second base bag. So Gonzalez has a stolen base. The steal for Jose Gonzalez is 3rd now and 4 tries this year. Meanwhile, the count to Figueredo is at 3-2, and now a base into the outfield. Could get another run in with Tanner Smith on deck. So 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The kick and the payoff. Figueredo swings, ground ball past the mound, but right to the second baseman, Burkell. Up with it and an easy throw to Martinez at first. And Figueredo is retired. Skinner, the leadoff double, and Ledea sac fly. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left. We move to the 3rd inning. 6-0 YOLO leads Oakland on YouTube Live and Flow Sports. On we go to the top half of the 3rd inning. 6-0 YOLO out in front. Want to acknowledge somebody watching. Got an instant message from a fan named Ingrid. And Ingrid, we definitely appreciate you letting us know the following, and I've relayed it to the powers to be. As the top of the Oakland order for the 2nd time, it's Austin Davis who stands in, and he leads it off, takes a strike on the outside corner from Sean Gamelin. No balls and 1 strike. Davis, Harden, Jefferson, the 0-1, and Austin cues 1 foul up along first, strike 2. No balls and 2 strikes. I'm guessing Ingrid is a female. Guessing, so if I'm wrong on that, I definitely apologize. But Ingrid was asking about one of our graphics on Flow Sports. The kick in the 0-2, tap foul up along 3rd. No balls and 2 strikes the count. 6-0 YOLO out in front. Top of the 3rd inning. On YOLO, I don't believe we have a like a base indicator, like when a runner's on first or second or whatever. Normally there's like a little diamond that shows if a runner is on base with a corresponding base, the 0-2, outside 1 and 2. So, Ingrid, I have relayed your concern, and very well valid concern, to the powers to be, and hopefully we can get that up there. I can't promise you that, but I have at least acknowledged your request. The 1-2 on the way to Davis, and that's flied into the sun and center. Should be routine for Kyle Guerra, waiting for the baseball in a few steps. And the center fielder, Kyle Guerra, makes the catch. 1 out. Top half of the third inning. 6 runs, 3 hits, no errors for Yolo. No runs, no hits, and no errors for Oakland. And now it's Peyton Harden who will dig in. He walked in that crazy first inning against Sean Gamelin. I say crazy because it was the first. He walked the first 3 batters and then struck out the next 2, and then got the next batter to fly out, and nobody scored in that top of the first. So now it's Peyton Harden. He swings and misses at a breaking ball, strike 1. And the count's at no balls and 1 strike. But definitely appreciate all of you who are tuning in, whether it be on Flow Sports or on YouTube Live. No balls, 1 strike. The windup by Gamelin and the pitch, and that is high inside, ball 1. And the count's now at 1 ball and 1 strike. So Peyton Harden wears his gray pants up to his knees. Harden out of the Houston area is the pitch on the way, and that's outside, ball 2. So now 2 balls and 1 strike to count to Peyton Harden. So 2 balls, 1 strike. Harden, 23 years old, takes outside 3-1. Born in Nacogdoches, Texas, out in East Texas, then went to college at McNeese State. So he played, which includes the pandemic year, but really played 5 seasons for McNeese State and really was an everyday player for the Cowboys. 3 balls, 1 strike. The windup and the pitch, and Harden takes, and that's a strike on the outside corner. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Was at State College last year in the MLB Draft League, and I need to ask Jerome Williams, the Yolo pitching coach, about Harden. Those 2 were together last year at State College. I'm sure Jerome has a good scouting report on him. The windup by Gamelin in the 3-2, and Harden swings, slaps one to second base. 2 is right to Leday, and the ball kicks past him, and the ball will go into center, and that'll be an error. Charge to Leday. I mean, it looked like Leday had gotten to the ball. I don't think there was really a lot of tricks to that baseball. He just took a step to his right, and the ball just looked like he missed it. Ball was picked up eventually by the center fielder, Guerra, but that's an error on Bobby Leday. So, first error for either side this afternoon. Harden is the runner at first base. 6-0 Yolo here in the top of the third. And now it's Miles Jefferson who bats. He walked in the first against Sean Gamelin, who kicks and delivers, and Gamelin takes. That's a strike on the inside corner, 1-1. Miles Jefferson out of Sam Houston State University in Huntsville, Texas. So no balls and 1 strike to count to Jefferson. 0-1. But anyway, I was talking to Gamelin, and I'd asked Sean, I said, I know you're a New England guy, and, you went to college back in Rhode Island and in Massachusetts, and you were in the draft league last year pitching in Williamsport. And I asked him how much time he'd ever spent on the West Coast. No ball, 1 strike pitch, and Jefferson takes, and that is outside, ball 1. And the count's at 1 ball and 1 strike. 6-0 Yolo out in front over Oakland, top half of the third. And Gamelin told me before this year he had never been to California. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. Gamelin deals, and that pitch taken outside. Snap throw to first, and out with a dive is Harden. First baseman Figueredo right on top of the bag, tagged out Harden, trying to dive back in, and he is out. 2-3 on the pickoff. The catcher Mendoza to the first baseman Figueredo. So 2 out and nobody on. The count holding at 2 balls and 1 strike. 6-0 Yolo. Top of the third. The count is actually at 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count to Jefferson. And now Gamelin can go back out of that deliberate 3-quarter windup as he deals. And Jefferson reaches for this one. A out of the screen, 1-2. So Galen said to me the furthest west he had ever been prior to this year was Georgetown, Texas, which is about roughly an hour north of Austin, right along I-35, right in central Texas. The kick on the 1-2, and that's lifted high in the air in the center. Guerra, plenty of room, a few steps to his right, and he makes the catch. To finish that story, Gamelin said the reason he was in Georgetown, Texas was when he was in college. I wasn't sure if it was Rhode Island College or Fitchburg State, but one of those schools went out to play Southwestern University, the Pirates, which is located in Georgetown, Texas. So he was there for a baseball series, but that's the furthest he had ever been prior to this year was Central Texas. No runs, no hits, one error, no one left. We go to the bottom of the third. 6-0 Yolo leads Oakland on YouTube Live and Flow Sports. On we go to the bottom half of the third inning. 6-0 Yolo. Again, tomorrow, 4:25, we'll start the Flow Sports Speed and the YouTube Live feed. 4:30 p.m. Pacific time, we will start all that. So after today, 2 more games in this series. And then the High Wheelers are off to Idaho Falls on Tuesday. Tanner Smith leads it off, facing Abraham De Leon, who delivers. And the first pitch, high ball 1 to Tanner Smith. 1 ball, no strikes. 6, 7, and 8 for Yolo Smith. Blackford and Mendoza face De Leon, who came on in relief in the first inning behind Jacob Reardon. The 1-0 on the way, and Smith takes inside ball 2, 2-0. So Smith struck out looking against Reardon the first, so this is his first look at De Leon. In fact, Smith didn't even face De Leon yesterday. That 4-run 5th inning, Smith did not bat in that inning. And then, as I said, that was the only inning in which De Leon worked. 2 balls, no strikes. And the pitch to Tanner up and away, ball 3. So now 3 balls and no strikes to Tanner Smith. So 3-0. A windup and the pitch, and Smith takes down the middle, strike 1. And the count's now at 3 balls and 1 strike from Abraham De Leon. Mentioned what the college, last college he played was Texas Southern University, which is in Houston, the 3-1. And that's low inside, ball 4. So Smith, he draws a leadoff walk. That's now the 5th walk that Yolo has drawn this afternoon. 3rd straight inning in which Yolo has had its leadoff man reach. And now it's Blackford. A grand slam for Blackford in the first inning was his 5th home run this year. It was the first time he'd homered at this ballpark. He had 4 homers on that recent trip. Turn, throw to first, and the ball gets away from the first baseman Martinez. On down the right field side, Smith will get as far as second. And that'll be an error. Charge to the pitcher, De Leon. Looked like he did a better job picking off the first baseman Martinez than he did trying to get Smith. So an E1 moves Smith up to second. First error for Oakland this afternoon. The 7th error in the series by the Ballers. They had 3 yesterday, and then they had 3 here on Tuesday. So now Smith goes to second. The count to the first pitch now to Blackford, up and away, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Blackford I mentioned 5 home runs now after that grand slam. And now he has 10 RBIs in 3 of his last 5 games. All right, maybe we could just simplify and say he's got 10 RBIs over his last 5 games. But anyway, when you hit a grand slam, we're going to get a few. Well, we got a chance at I guess with a home run right here, at least a chance for 2 RBIs, but easier chance with a base hit to the outfield as Braden takes, and that strike 1 called on the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, Blackford, I want to say the count was at 3-1 when he hit that grand slam. I remember setting it up saying he's going to get a pretty good pitch to hit, and he did. A 1-1, and that's high ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike. So 2-1 the count to Blackford, who has 4 of his 5 home runs this year against Oakland. He had homered in 3 straight games in that series at Oakland. Now the last pitch was 2-1. Now it's 3-1. This next pitch up and away. So now it's ball 3. So 3 balls and 1 strike the count. 6-0 YOLO. Home half of the third. Well, I have to think Blackford here on 3-1 is going to get a pretty good pitch to hit. The kick on the 3-1 was Smith at second. Tapped foul up along first, strike 2. And the count moves now to 3 balls and 2 strikes to Blackford, wearing his white pants up to his knees, showing the thick black socks from Peoria, Illinois, and then Purdue University, Fort Wayne. So 3 balls and 2 strikes the count. Lead at second by Smith. Outfield well around to the left and the pitch, and that's swung on, and that's lined toward right field. That's going to be a base hit. Ball got out there so quickly, Tanner Smith gets as far as third. So no RBI there for Blackford, but can't fault him for hitting the ball hard in the right field for a single. Yeah, I'm going to blame you for not getting an RBI, Braden. Shame on you. So he's now 2 for 2. Smith moves to third. Blackford is at first, and now it's Angel Mendoza who digs in for the second time. Now, we'll see what happens here. Mendoza was the first batter De Leon faced today. And on the first pitch between those two today, Mendoza got hit with it, and there were some words being chirped right after that. So we'll see what happens here as Mendoza takes, and that's inside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. So not only were those two chirping at it, and the benches didn't clear, didn't escalate to any of that, but the umpires all met, and then warnings were issued to both sides, and there was a lengthy discussion about that with Oakland manager Micah Franklin and the umpires. There's the 1-0 on the way, and that's a strike called on the outside corner. And the count's at 1 ball and 1 strike to Mendoza. So Smith's at third, Blackford's at first. 6 runs, 4 hits, and an error for YOLO. No runs, no hits, 1 error for Oakland. And the 1-1, and the curve is swing and a miss, strike 2. And the count's now at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, 1-2 the count to Mendoza with Kyle Guerra on deck. Outfield medium depth and straight away. Runners lead at the corners, and the 1-2 way outside. A good backhand pick there by the catcher Lozano. And the count's at 2 balls and 2 strikes. On this, again, 96-degree afternoon here in Davis, California. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count. And the pitch on the way to Mendoza just inside ball 3. Now they're going to challenge that. Oakland's going to challenge that. And the pitch has been overturned to a strike according to the challenge system. So Mendoza is out on strikes looking. Well, that was a pretty close pitch anyway, but that's 1 out, and that is the second strikeout for Abraham De Leon. That keeps runners at the corners. Now the number 9 batter digs in for the second time, and Kyle Guerra. He struck out swinging against De Leon in the first inning. Outfield around to the left side, big hole out of right center. And the pitch on the way is up and away, ball 1. And the count's at 1 ball and no strikes. See one of the High Wheelers canopies down the first base side. Black tint to it, blowing in the wind a little bit. The 1-0 to Guerra, and that's popped up. shallow left field. I don't think this is going to be deep enough. Harden comes in to make the catch. Tagging from third is Smith. They're going to send him the throw home, and he slides in safely. Up to second base goes Blackford. They challenge the arm of Harden, and it works. So Smith does have good speed, and it's now 7-0 Yolo. And I guess when you're up 6-0, maybe you take that chance. If it's late in the game and it's maybe a one-run lead, maybe you don't do that, but plenty of wiggle room even if he had been thrown out. But it's a sac fly for Kyle Guerra. Blackford moves to second on the sac fly. So Guerra give him a run batted in. And now 7-0 Yolo. Top of the Yolo order for the third time now for Braylon Skinner. The first pitch lined in the center, a base hit. Rounding third is Blackford. He will score easily. And now he's going to try to go to second. He's going to be out by a mile. Now on the timing play, the run counts. As long as Blackford scores before an unforced third out, then the run counts. Timing play there. And out is Braylon Skinner. But give him a single and a run batted in. It's now 8-0 Yolo. By the way, the RBI on that sac fly for Kyle Guerra was his 6th run batted in. Skinner gets credit for a single and an RBI. That's his 21st run batted in this year, and then we'll score that one for you exactly when we get back. Leadoff walk leads to 2 more Yolo runs. So 2 runs, 2 hits. There was 1 error, and nobody left. We go to the 4th, 8-0 Yolo leading Oakland on YouTube Live and Flow Sports. Eight nothing Yolo leading Oakland. We move on to the top half of the 4th. Again, tomorrow the series will shift to the 5th game of this set. Again, we'll start the feed on Flow Sports and on YouTube Live at 4:25 p.m. Pacific Time. Derek Cherry will pitch for Oakland, and Brandon Mitchell will get the baseball for Yolo. 8-0 Yolo leads Oakland as we move to the 4th. Dondre Hubbard leads it off, facing Sean Gamelin. So it's Hubbard, Halsema, and Martinez. As Gamelin is out of the windup and the pitch, and that's flopped up foul right side. Strike at 1, 0-1. The final play of the 3rd inning. Again, give Braylon Skinner an RBI single to center, and then he was out trying to go to second base. 8-4, the center fielder Davis to the second baseman Burkell, who applied the tag on Skinner. But the run scored before that unforced third out. 0-1 on the way, foul to the backstop, strike 2. No balls and 2 strikes. Hubbard struck out swinging. Now, back in the first inning, you look at the score right now, and it's 8-0 Yolo. But that out in the first inning was a really big out. I mean, that was a big play in the game. The windup in the 0-2 to Hubbard, low 1-2. You're thinking, well, I mean, it's 8-0 with that, one play made a difference. Yeah, might have. I mean, they had Gamelin on the ropes. Gamelin had walked the first 3 batters. Nobody was out, obviously, if he had walked the first 3 batters. And Hubbard came up, and, even if he didn't do a double play, at least a run comes in. The 1-2 pitch, and that swung on and lined toward left field. And that's going to get down on one hop in front of the diving left fielder Gonzalez. And Andre Hubbard has a single to left as Gonzalez gets the ball back in toward second. First hit for Oakland. 8-0 Yolo, top of the 4th. And now Trevor Halsema comes up. But even if he hits into a double play, I don't mean a 1-2-3 double play, but meaning a pitcher-catcher first double play, but, another kind of double play, at least he would get a run in. and the inning would have continued. And who knows where the inning goes from there. But at least it would have been something. Now it's Halsema, and Gamelin misses inside, ball one. And the count's at 1 ball and no strikes, but Hubbard struck out, and I'm sure there was a major lift for Gamelin, and was able to get out of trouble with nobody scoring. The kick on the 1-0 to Halsema, and that is high, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes from Gamelin, again wearing his white pants up to his knees, showing the thick black socks. Yolo in the home white uniforms for the second straight day, second time in this series. Hubbard leads at first. 2 balls, no strikes. And the pitch to Halsema, that's a high pop-up foul to the right. And the count's at 2 balls and 1 strike with an 8-0 Yolo advantage, top of the 4th. High Wheelers white shirts, white pants. High Wheelers spelled across the front of the shirt in black, gold number on both sides of the shirt, black cap, gold bill with a bicycle logo on it. 2-1 to Halsema, high fastball, swing and a miss, strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Oakland in the lightweight forest green button-down shirts, Ballers spelled across the front in gold. Gold number on the back of the shirt, gray pants, going with the forest green caps. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to count with nobody out. It is 8-0 in favor of Yolo. Top half of the 4th. Again, with the Oakland, I like what they're doing. Instead of the player's last name above the number on the back of the shirt, they just simply write the word /City Oakland to top it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Gamelin delivers from the set, and that's swung on by Halsema. A pop-up foul right side, strike 2. So the count's at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Now Halsema also very important at bat on that top of the 1st. After Hubbard had struck out, Halsema had a chance to do damage with the bases loaded and 1 out, and he struck out. Struck out on a slider from Gamelin. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out. 8-0 High Wheelers, top 4. And the 2-2, swing and a miss, high fastball, strike 3. Foul tipped into the glove of the catcher Mendoza. And Halsema is down on strike, swinging for the second time. 4th strikeout for Gamelin, which matches his season high this year. He had 4 strikeouts in each of his last 2 starts, June 7th at Oakland and then last week at Northern Colorado. So now it's Martinez who bats. He flied to center field in the 1st inning, so he was up with the bases loaded, but then he did what should have been done prior to that. He flied out to center. That's not when that's not when you needed the fly ball out. Swings and misses at a pitch down at in, strike 1 to Noah Martinez. No balls and 1 strike. So again, Hubbard, the runner at first base. Dondre 4 steals. He's not been caught. As Figueredo holds him on outfield around to the left, and the pitch to Martinez, and he skies this one foul third base side, and Blackford runs out of room. So no balls and 2 strikes the count. So Noah Martinez, who I met before the game today. I was asking him about, I know the name Martinez is a very, very common name in baseball with a large Latin influence, and that last name, you can be from Cuba, Puerto Rico, Mexico, any really the Latin American countries. So I was asking him a little about his background. No balls, 2 strikes, big hole in right center. And the pitch, and Noah swings, and he drives this one toward right center, and that's going to get down for a hit. Hubbard touches second. He is on his way to third. Throw back to first, and from the looks like the center fielder Guerra came up with it. Tried to backpick Martinez, who took a big turnaround first, but could not get him. Figueredo had to go pick up the ball over toward the right field side of the first base bag. So Hubbard goes to third. Martinez has a single to right center. And now it's 1st and 3rd with 1 out in the top of the 4th inning. It is 8-0 in favor of the Yolo High Wheelers. And now J.P. Gates digs in. Well, anyway, I asked Martinez. I said, what is your country of origin? And he told me an interesting story that his father's given name, his father's surname is not originally, or was not originally, Martinez. Now the pitch on the way to Gates, outside ball 1. Want to know? Noah told me that his father came over from Jamaica when his dad was 10 years old. The dad moved from Jamaica to the States, but his dad's last name when he moved was not Martinez. The kick in the 1-0, and Gates a late swing and a miss, strike 1, 1-1. I didn't ask what the last name was at the time, but anyway, the name was changed to Martinez. His dad's last name was changed to Martinez once he arrived from Jamaica into the States when his dad was 10. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Middle infield looking to turn 2, and Gates is swinging a foul to the backstop. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 8-0 Yolo leading Oakland top of the 4th. So, in a way, Noah Martinez was really the first of his family to, I don't know if he has an older sibling, I shouldn't say that, but at least the kids were the first of that group to be born with the last name Martinez in that family. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And the pitch from Gamelin, curve, swing and a miss, strike 3. And Gates is out, so Gamelin pulled the string on Gates. 5 strikeouts for Gamelin, most for him this year. 2 out, and now Tyler Lozano bats. But anyway, yeah, that's what Noah Martinez told me. So Noah mentioned that he's really of Jamaican descent, and he mentioned that his mother's got some Scottish in her. And really, Noah is sort of, as he and I talked about, more of the Caribbean or West Indies mix. But Martinez not the original last name in the family. Now it's Lozano who bats, and he takes outside ball 1. And the count's at 1 ball and no strikes with an 8-0 lead for Yolo. Top half of the 4th. Lozano again a strikeout victim looking in the 2nd inning. Gamelin kicks in the 1-0, and Lozano a high pop-up foul down the right field side. And the count is now at 1 ball and 1 strike to Lozano, who went to St. Mary's High School in Stockton, well-known high school there that produced former big league outfielder with the Phillies and Indians, Vaughn Hayes. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. And the pitch to Lozano, and that's very high, ball 3. So count is now at 3 balls and 1 strike to Lozano. Now, Lozano mentioned went to Creighton. That was the last school where he played. That was his senior year, or his graduate year school. Went to USC for 4 years. Yeah, a minor detail I left out. The kick in the 2-1, and that is high, ball 3. So 3 balls and 1 strike. Lozano, 4 years at USC, 91 games, 46 RBIs all time as a Trojan, which included in his senior year with USC had a game-ending grand slam on opening day against Santa Clara. 3 balls, 1 strike, 2 out. 2 on, 8-0 Yolo, away on the pitch to Lozano. And that runs inside, ball 4, and that loads the bases. So Hubbard holds at 3rd, Martinez up to 2nd, Lozano to 1st. Well, maybe you just heard that. The High Wheelers challenged that call, and it's been overturned to a strike. So instead of a walk, the count is now at 3-2. So obviously Martinez has to move back to first base. So it stays runners at 1st and 3rd. However, Martinez isn't going to stay at first base long because now on 3-2 and 2 outs, he will be off automatically. So the runner at 3rd is Hubbard. Martinez ready to go from 1st. Figure 8 of the first baseman plays behind him. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Martinez goes, and the pitch. Lozano a tapper foul up along 3rd. And the count holds at 3 balls and 2 strikes to Lozano, who played baseball, football, and basketball for the Rams of St. Mary's High in Stockton. An all-NorCal player, Cal High Sports all-state player while at St. Mary's. Again, the runner at 1st, Martinez, ready to go. He takes off the 3-2, and that is just outside, ball 4. I think they're going to challenge that. So it'll be the 2nd challenge in this plate appearance. And it's strike 3 called. So the High Wheelers win both challenges in that at-bat to Lozano, who was already down at first base, and shakes his head and said, that's now 2 times he walked in that at-bat where he didn't walk. And the High Wheelers win that challenge, and that's the 6th strikeout for Gamelin, who ends up retiring everybody in this inning on strikeouts. No runs, 2 hits, no errors. 2 left. We go to the bottom of the 4th. 8-0 Yolo leads Oakland on YouTube Live and on Flow Sports. On to the bottom half of the fourth inning. It is Yolo 8 and Oakland nothing. This is Doug Greenwald. You're listening to the Yolo High Wheelers and the Oakland Ballers here on Flow Sports and YouTube Live. Zach St. Pierre, right-handed pitcher out of the Dallas area. He will come on to do the pitching, his second appearance of the series. Braylon Marine leads it off, and he takes a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Batters 2, 3, and 4 for Yolo, Marine, Lede, and Gonzalez. The lineup in the 0-1 pitch, and that's swung out by Marine and driven high toward left field. Pretty well struck. Back is Harden, and he will be there to make the catch. So Braylon Marine giving that one a ride out toward deep left center. Place where he had homered the other day, but comes up empty there. And Marine, again, 11-game hitting streak, now 0 for 2. So he is out, one down. Marine, Lede, and Gonzalez 2, 3, and 4 to face Zach St. Pierre. 8-0 Yolo for St. Pierre this year. No wins, 2 losses, 8th appearance. 6th out of the bullpen as Lede pops this one up. Right side of the diamond. To his left, it's the second baseman, Burkell. And he is there to make the catch. And Lede is out now 0 for 2 this afternoon. Quickly 2 out. Bottom of the fourth inning. Yolo has scored at least a run in all 3 innings tonight. I say all 3 innings, all 3 of their prior at-bats, if you will. 5 in the first, 1 in the second, 2 in the third. So now it's Gonzalez who's 1 for 1. An RBI single run scored. He's also walked, stolen a base. St. Pierre delivers, up and away, 1-0. So again, St. Pierre 0-2 this year. ERA's at 13.02, 8th appearance, and again his 6th as a reliever. He's out of the full windup in the 1-0, and that's low and in, ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. St. Pierre, 5'11", 185 pounds, 26 years old. And he's from the Dallas region. The windup of the 2-0, and Gonzalez swings, and he grounds this one to second base. Burkell up with it, and he will throw to Martinez at first. And Gonzalez is out, and the High Wheelers go in order in the fourth. First time they've been retired, 1, 2, 3. We go to the fifth. 8-0 Yolo leading this one over Oakland on YouTube Live and Flow Sports. Struck that in. He and I are talking about that. Next half inning, you and I can go over it. Okay.
Seems like it would be her because he got to.
Yeah, we'll go over it. Brad Burkell leads off the top of the fifth for Oakland. It is 8-0 Yolo. Doug Greenwald with you on YouTube Live and Flow Sports. So batters 9, 1, and 2 for Oakland. It'll be Brad Burkell. Then the top of the Oakland order for the center fielder and Davis, and then Harden face Sean Gamelin. And the first pitch on the way, and that is high ball 1. And the count's at 1 ball. And no strikes to Burkell. So it's Burkell, Then the top, as I said, then Davis at the top of the order, then Harden, the same three I just mentioned. 1-1 on the way, and that's or the 1-0 on the way. It's a strike on the inside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike to count to Burkell, capital Burckel. The windup in the 1-1, and Burkell is swinging a miss at a breaking ball, strike 2. And the count's at 1 ball and 2 strikes. So 1-2 the count. And the pitch, and Burkell is swinging a miss, strike 3. The ball kicks back to the catcher Mendoza, picks it up and throws it, and the ball hits the the batter runner Burkell in the back. The plate umpire and Tim O'Day, who was trailing the play, said no interference. He ruled safe there. Good job by the plate umpire there to follow that play. No argument from anybody from Yolo, because Burkell was running within his proper lane right there, so that'll be a strikeout swinging, wild pitch. 7th strikeout for Gamelin, adding to his season high. But the leadoff man is on, and now here is the top of the Oakland order for the 3rd time for Austin Davis. And Sean Gamelin's pitch is outside, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. So 1 ball and no strikes to count. Davis walked to open the game. He's also fly to center. Gamelin from the belt. And the 1-0, and that's a strike called on the outside corner. And the count's at 1 ball and 1 strike to Austin Davis with Peyton Harden on deck. Burkell at first. 8-0 Yolo. Top half of the 5th inning. Gamelin obviously would like to get through this inning so he'd be eligible for the win, especially with an 8-run lead with which to work. And think about that first inning. And again, with both bullpens tucked down the lines, I don't always know if somebody is warming up, but I'd have to think somebody had been warming up for Yolo. The 1-1, up and in, ball 2, 2-1. And you'll recall the Oakland starter, Jacob Reardon, didn't get out of the first inning, and I don't think Gamelin was too far away from being removed either. 2 balls and a strike to count. So Burkell at first base. And the pitch to Davis, and that is low, ball 3. So 3 balls and 1 strike. Don't imagine Burkell's going to be taken off right here. They need hits, not necessarily stolen bases. Burkell 2 for 2 in steal attempts this year. So 3 balls and 1 strike to count to Davis with an 8-0 Yolo advantage. Top half of the 5th, and Gamelin, first base side of the rubber, comes set. And he kicks in the 3-1, and Davis takes up and in, ball 4, and the first 2 have reached. Remember, Burkell reached on a strikeout wild pitch to get this inning going, and now he moves to second base. And now Peyton Harden will come up with an 8-0 Yolo lead. I'm sure many of you watched last night, and I wish I could have seen it live. We were playing simultaneously the Rickwood Classic. The St. Louis Stars and the San Francisco Sea Lions facing one another, or the Cardinals or Giants, whichever way you want to look at it. Now it's Harden who takes high, 1-0. The game was won by St. Louis 6-5. But the coverage was phenomenal. I mean, I saw a lot of the highlights. In many ways I felt like I did see the game. But, just think of all the people who were there last night. The former players, many of whom are in the Hall of Fame. Ozzie Smith was there, and Reggie Jackson, and Derek Jeter, and David Ortiz. Of course, the game was in honor of Willie Mays. Would have been in honor of Willie Mays no matter what. As I think safe to say you all know, Willie passed away this past Tuesday night at age 93. The Say Hey kid who grew up in Birmingham. Rickwood Field was his first place that he really got his feet wet professionally, playing in the Negro Leagues for the Birmingham Black Barons. 1 ball, no strikes, and the pitch to Harden, and that's driven towards center. Guerra scampering to his left will get there to make the catch. Tagging from second is Burkell. He'll go to third, but that's fine if you're Yolo with an 8-0 lead. They'll give up the 90 feet for the out. Holding at first base is Davis with an 8-0 Yellow advantage. And now here is the shortstop, Miles Jefferson. But Michael Mays, Willie's son, was there. When you think about all the, John Smoltz was there. Of course, he was working the game for Fox Sports. John Miller broadcasting on the Giants side. Both Smoltz and John Miller are enshrined in Cooperstown, let alone all the other Hall of Famers I talked about. And believe really, I always be careful I use the word all, but I think all of the still living Negro League players, they were there as well. First pitch of Jefferson inside, ball one. 1 ball, no strikes. Runners at the corners, and Gamelin's pitch, and that's popped up foul right side, strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. Bill Greason, who is age 99, he's in the clergy in Birmingham still. He was there. The 1-1 pitch, high fastball, swing and miss, 1-2. That was a great interview with the Baptist ministers, his proper title. Bill Greason, who played in the major leagues. Obviously, there was emphasis on the fact that Greason played for the Birmingham Black Barons, played with Willie Mays, with Birmingham. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. And now Gamelin steps off the rubber with an 8-0 YOLO lead over Oakland. Top of the 5th, but Bill Greason played with the St. Louis Cardinals. Brief career with them in 1954. 1 ball, 2 strikes. There goes Davis, and the pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. Davis apparently bluffed, didn't go. Looked like he was going, but swung on a miss, strike 3. And Jefferson is out. That is the 8th strikeout for Gamelin, adding to his season high. Most strikeouts in a game this year for YOLO is 9. Cameron Rapetti has accomplished that, as has Dawson Lane. And now it's Dondre Hubbard with runners at the corners. But Bill Greason, the oldest living Negro League player, age 99, was interviewed. Greason grew up in Atlanta, grew up across the street from Martin Luther King Jr. That's some serious history there. Now the pitch on the way to Hubbard, and that's lined toward left. And in to make the catch is Jose Gonzalez to complete the top half of the 5th. So Gamelin gets through 5. And 2 more stranded for Oakland, who have now left 7. So no runs. There were no hits, no errors, and 2 left. We go to the 5th, bottom of the 5th, halfway done. It is YOLO 8 and Oakland nothing on YouTube Live and Flow Sports. Okay. Halfway done, we go to the bottom half of the 5th inning. It is 8-0 YOLO leading Oakland. Doug Greenwald with you on YouTube Live and on Flow Sports. And it'll be Alejandro Figueiredo to lead it off for the YOLO High Wheelers. 8 runs, 5 hits, and 1 error for YOLO. No runs, 2 hits, and 1 error for Oakland. And Figueiredo to get it started against Zach St. Pierre, who's out of the full windup, and his first pitch is high outside, ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. So it's Figueredo, Smith, and Blackford. 5, 6, and 7 to face St. Pierre, who came on last inning in the 1-0, and Alejandro takes a strike on the inside corner, 1-1. By the way, the line on Abraham De Leon, the second Oakland pitcher, we'll tell you in a moment. The windup, the 1-1 pitch, Figueredo takes one away, 2-1. De Leon, 2 1/3 innings, 3 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned, walked 2, struck out 2, he hit a batter. Figueredo walked and scored on that 5-run first. St. Pierre, the deliberate full windup on the 2-1. And a breaking ball drops in nicely for a strike on the outside corner. 2 balls and 1 strike. But talking about Bill Greason, who was interviewed last night, and a lot of that game was also based around him and the surviving Negro League players. Next pitch high and away, ball 3. 3-2 the count. 8-0. Yolo, the windup and the payoff. Figueredo swings. It's one sharply toward short. Snagged nicely by Jefferson, and he will throw on to Martinez at first, and Figueredo is out. Nice play there by Jefferson. 1 away. Bottom of the 5th inning. 8-0 the Yellow High Wheelers. And now Tanner Smith bats. But Bill Greason, in addition to playing, he served and he was one of the first Black Marines. Was part of an all-black unit and took part in the Battle of Iwo Jima. Now it's Smith who takes high ball 1. And the count's at 1 ball and no strikes. But so we certainly salute his service, no doubt about it. The 1-0 on the way, high ball 2, 2-0. So he's still one of the living members of the Negro Leagues and also World War II. I'll wind up in the 2-0 pitch to Smith up and in 3-0, but I'm sure I'm leaving out a few people who are still enshrined in Cooperstown, but a lot of them there last night. The kick on the 3-0, and that's inside for, check swing, foul ball. Pitch was on the inner half of the plate, so it's a foul ball, 3-1. But we all know the night, for the most part, was about Willie Mays. As his son Michael spoke, the windup in the 3-1. Strike 2 called outside corner, 3-2 the count. And spoke so eloquently and just said, you know what? Willie doesn't want a moment of silence. He wants to hear all of you. The windup in the 3-2, and Smith takes strike 3 called inside corner. Smith would like that challenged. So, we'll see. It's been overturned to a ball, so Tanner Smith, his second walk as it turns out. He'll go down to first base. It is 8-0 Yolo, bottom of the 5th inning. And now Braden Blackford, who's had a grand slam and a single, and he has scored twice. He comes up. So Tanner Smith, the runner at first base. Smith, 3 for 4 in steal tries this year. Outfield medium depth and straight away. They hand the pitch on the way, and that's taken high outside, ball 1. And the count is at 1 ball and no strikes. So 1-0 the count. Hubbard, the third baseman, even with the bag, well off the line, and the pitch, and that's up and away, ball 2. And the count's now at 2 balls and no strikes to Braden Blackford. King Griffey Jr., he was also on hand last night. Another of the fellow Baseball Hall of Famers. 2 balls, no strikes the count. And the pitch and a breaking ball taken for a strike on the outside corner. 2-1. But, you look at Fox Sports, and the game was on Fox, and you had a round table with Griffey, Barry Bonds, who was there, Derek Jeter, David Ortiz. The kick on the 2-1, and that's tapped foul up along third, 2-2. And obviously Barry and the Bonds family and the Mays family, dearest of friends forever. And I know Barry, interesting thing I was reading about Barry Bonds was the first time he had ever been to the state of Alabama. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to count with 1 out, and an 8-0 Yellow advantage, bottom of the 5th. Big hole in right center, ran the pitch from St. Pierre, and Blackford made a motion of the pitch and takes low, ball 3. So 3 balls and 2 strikes with the catcher Angel Mendoza on deck. I think who else was at that round table? Alex Rodriguez was the other. So you had A-Rod, Bonds, Ortiz, Jeter, Ken Griffey Jr. It's a pretty good lineup. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and now Blackford backs out of the box. But Derek Jeter had asked, it looked like Jeter was really the one running the whole round table, and had asked Barry Bonds, how would you do against Satchel Paige? Barry Bonds said, gone. I'd take him deep. 3-2 pitch with Smith at first, and Blackford swings and misses, breaking ball down and in, strike 3. And Blackford is out for the first time. It's the first strikeout for St. Pierre. 2 down, bottom of the 5th inning. It is 8-0 YOLO. And now Angel Mendoza digs in for the 3rd time. He is 0 for 1. He's been hit with a pitch. But obviously just an unbelievable group of people who were there last night. I'm sure I am missing many. Now the pitch on the way to Mendoza is outside, ball 1. And the count's at 1 ball and no strikes. I'd have to ask the Giants, that's John Miller, if that's his first time ever to the state of Alabama. The 1-0 pitch, and that's outside too. Now I know that Dave Fleming has been to Alabama for college football. I know Dave's been to Auburn for football. So Dave at least has been in that state. I don't know if he's been to Birmingham per se, but I know Dave's at least been to Alabama. 2 ball, no strike pitch here, and that's slowing in 3-0. And the longtime producer and engineer for the Giants, Darren Chan. I know it was Darren's first time to Alabama. Darren and I talked quite a bit, and I know Darren was looking forward to that game for a long time, and told me he had never been to Alabama. 3-0 on the way, and that's slowing in, ball 4. So he draws a walk. Mendoza on base safely for the 2nd time. Second walk issued by St. Pierre. And with 2 on and 2 out and an 8-0 High Wheelers lead, Kyle Guerra bats 0 for 1 with a sacrifice fly. Hunter Pence was part of that radio crew last night with the Giants, and obviously another guy who had a great big league career. So now it's Guerra who takes outside, ball 1, 1-0. There was no lack of talent, retired talent that was at Rickwood Field last night. Definitely wish I could have been there. The kick on the 1-0 and a breaking ball taken for a strike on the outside corner, 1-1. I'd have to think. I think that game last night was so popular. Didn't go the way of the Giants, of course. The Cardinals won that game 6-5, but just in terms of the overall festivities and the man whom they were honoring, and Willie Mays, the 1-1, low ball 2, 2-1. I'd have to think that game. I think there should be a major league game there every year. Doesn't have to be the same matchup necessarily, but I'd have to think maybe the Braves would be certainly the closest team to Birmingham. They would take part one year. 2-1 on the way is outside, 3-1. I wouldn't have any objection if, obviously this year was Willie Mays as the centerpiece, maybe Hank Aaron next year or the next time. I mean, Hank grew up in Mobile, so obviously grew up in that state. And Hank Aaron is to the Braves as Willie Mays is to the Giants. The 3-1 pitch, and that's low outside, ball 4. So that loads them up. So second inning tonight that the High Wheelers have had 3 players walk. So Smith the third, Mendoza the second, Guerra, he walks. So everyone on base has walked for YOLO. 8-0 YOLO. And now for the 4th time this afternoon, YOLO will go to the top of its order for the designated hitter, Braylon Skinner. He's 2 for 2. And the pitch to Skinner, dribbled foul, first base side, strike 1-0-1. Ball picked up there by the YOLO first base coach and dugout coach, Gary Davenport, who we had a chance to interview the other day about Willie Mays, combining Willie Mays and Gary's dad, Jim. The 0-1 to Skinner, swing and a miss, 0-2, and just like Willie, Gary Davenport's dad, Jim, born and raised in Birmingham. Although, surprised, Gary told me that, of course, Gary grew up in the Bay Area, grew up in the peninsula, south of San Francisco. The 0-2, swing and a miss, strike 3, breaking ball gets Skinner, who's retired for the first time. I was going to say, Gary Davenport saying that despite his trips to see family back in Birmingham, Gary has never made a visit to Rickwood Field. That surprised me. We got to get Gary there, definitely. Got to get everybody there to Rickwood. Second strikeout for St. Pierre. No runs, no hits, no errors, and YOLO leaves the bases full. We go to the 6th. 8-0 YOLO leads Oakland on YouTube Live and Flow Sports. We go to the sixth inning. It is 8-0. YOLO out in front. And wheels starting to turn on both sides. The new pitcher for YOLO is the right-hander J.C. Ariza, just activated from the injured list. Missed almost 2 weeks with a bicep issue. Jalen Smith is going to bat for Trevor Halsema. So we have a new pitcher and now a new batter as the first pitch to Smith is outside, ball 1. And the count is a 1 ball and no strikes to the pinch hitter in Jalen Smith. He is a right-handed batter. Ariza out of the windup in the 1-0, and Smith takes outside, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes the count. So J.C. Ariza, John Carlos Ariza from Belleville, New Jersey, of Cuban descent. White pants up to his knees. The windup in the 2-0, and that's popped up foul right side, 2-1. Ariza, first relief outing this year. He had been in the rotation to begin the year. He's 0-2, fourth appearance this year, first out of the bullpen for him, 8.53 earned run average. So 2 balls and 1 strike the count. It is 8-0 YOLO. Smith, who's been in this series, bright yellow batting gloves. The windup in the 2-1. Swing and a miss at a fastball, strike 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. For Jalen Smith, 269 average, 3 homers, and he has 10 runs batted in. Ariza, 3-quarter windup in the 2-2, and Smith swings, and he flies one high and deep down the left field line and foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So Sean Gamelin able to get through 5 innings, so he is eligible for the win. 5 shutout innings, allowed 2 hits, 4 walks, struck out 8. Again, that's the most he has struck out in a game this year. And he offered 1 wild pitch. So 2 balls and 2 strikes the count to Jalen Smith. Ariza kicks and the pitch. And a breaking ball, swing and a miss, strike 3. Foul tipped into the glove of the catcher Mendoza. And Smith is down on strikes. And that's the first strikeout for J.C. Ariza. So 1 up and 1 down. And now it's the first baseman, Noah Martinez, who will come to the plate. He is 1 for 2 with a single. So Ariza on the active roster now out of the bullpen. And we'll tell you what the reciprocal move is in a moment. Now it's Noah Martinez, ground ball toward second. Far to his left, Ledean from shallow right does a 360 and then throws to Figueiredo at first. And Martinez is out. Nice play there by the second baseman, Bobby Leday. 2 up and 2 down in the 6th inning, the top of the 6th. 8-0 YOLO. And now J.P. Gates will come up. He is 0 for 2. He's flied to center and he is struck out swinging. The reciprocal move, Chris Englund, left-handed reliever, he was placed on the injured list before the game today. Undisclosed injury. So Ariza is active. Englund is not. Now it's Gates, and the left-handed batter fouls into the backstop, strike 1. No balls and 1 strike. Gates is fly to center. He is struck out swinging. Ariza with a black beard. Wise and the 0-1. Gates takes up and away for a ball. And the count's at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count to J.P. Gates. Big left-handed batter who we saw pitch yesterday. Gates 6'2", 230 pounds. 1 ball, 1 strike. And the windup in the pitch, and Gates made a motion to pitch and went around, said third base umpire Bill Shortridge. Strike 2. And the count's at 1 ball and 2 strikes. They're at Dobbins Stadium. The windup by Ariza, the 1-2. And Gates swings and just gets a piece of one and fouls into the backstop. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 3:10 down the lines here at Dobbins Stadium. 385 to the gaps. 410 to straightaway center. 10-foot wall all the way around. View of the beautiful white parking structure back of left field. That's just an absolutely gorgeous backdrop with the parking garage. The windup with the 1-2 pitch, and that's tapped foul. Then you have the UC Davis Campus Police Station just back of left field. Scoreboard here is behind the right center field wall. And then the basketball arena, the ARC Pavilion it's called, serves back of the right field fence. The windup in the 1-2 pitch, And a swing and a miss, strike three. Fastball in the outer half of the plate. Gates comes up empty, and Ariza, in his first outing in almost 2 weeks, a 1-2-3-6 with a couple of strikeouts. So nothing across. We go to the bottom of the sixth inning. It remains YOLO 8 and Oakland nothing on YouTube Live and Flow Sports. Some changes for Oakland as we go to the bottom of the sixth inning. It is 8-0 YOLO. Brad Burkell moves from second base to third base. Jalen Smith, after pinch hitting, remains in the game to play right field. The new second baseman is Dan Covino, and he bats cleanup. So Hubbard, who had been playing third, comes out of the game. We'll go over that again in a moment. Braylon Marine leads it off, and he takes inside from Zach St. Pierre. Ball 1-1-0. And right back to the plate. Swing, ground ball, left field, base hit. Braylon Marine, now a 12-game hitting streak to extend the team's best streak this year. So Marine now 1 for 3 as the left fielder Harden gets the ball in toward second base. So Marine, Lede, and Gonzalez 2, 3, and 4 here on the bottom of the sixth inning. That's the sixth hit now for the Yellow High Wheelers, who have an 8-0 lead. And now Bobby Lede comes up, who's 0 for 2 with a sacrifice fly. So Burkell is now playing third. Covino bats cleanup. He plays second base. And Jalen Smith stays in the game after pinch hitting to play right field. Now it's Lede who looks at a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Again, he is 0 for 2 with a sac fly. St. Pierre, a couple of shutout innings this afternoon. He's the third Oakland pitcher as he deals. And Lede is swinging a foul to the backstop, and the count holds it. No balls and 2 strikes from Zach St. Pierre, who we've seen a couple of times out of the bullpen this year for Oakland. Also seen him as a pinch runner. The 0-2, and Lede is swinging and miss at a curve, strike 3. And he is out. So Lede strikes out swinging. It's the third strikeout for St. Pierre. One down, and now the left fielder and Jose Gonzalez comes up. By the way, St. Pierre, mentioned, just struck out Bobby Lede, and I don't know if those two were at Bossier Parish Community College near Shreveport at the same time, but both at one time or another played for the Cavaliers of what they call BPCC, BPCC, Bossier Parish Community College in Bossier City, Louisiana, just 2 seconds across the Red River from Shreveport. First pitch to Gonzalez taken for a strike, 0-1, and the next pitch inside for a ball. And the count's at 1 ball and 1 strike. St. Pierre, this is his second pro year. 7 games 2 years ago with Lincoln in the American Association. And it's a 1-1 to Gonzalez, and he went around to the pitch up and away, strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count to Jose Gonzalez, who is 1 for 2, an RBI single, a walk, a steal, and a run scored. So 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. Marine at first, and St. Pierre's pitch, and that is low for a ball. And the count's at 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Jose Gonzalez. Yeah, a lot of connections we talked about. Gonzalez and Leday have known each other for about 10 years from the Houston area. Outfield around to the left, the 2-2 to Jose. Ground ball foul up along first. And the count holds at 2 balls and 2 strikes to Jose Gonzalez. So 2-2 the count. Big hole out of the right center. St. Pierre delivers, and Gonzalez a swing and a miss. Fastball foul tipped into the glove of the catcher. Lozano strike 3, and Gonzalez strikes out for the first time today. 4 strikeouts for St. Pierre, 2 down. And now Alejandro Figueiredo will come up. He is 0 for 2, a walk and a run scored. So the Brickwood Classic last night. So Giants and Cardinals will resume their series. That last night's game was a Cardinals home game. And they'll resume that series starting tomorrow in St. Louis. Now Figueiredo swings and a dribbler up the grass, third base side, charged and gloved by Burkell, and his throw to Martinez at first, and Figueiredo is out. Well, I think anybody else, just about anybody else would have beat that out, but Figueiredo, not the fastest guy in the world, and he is out. Nice play by Burkell to charge that ball and throw out Figueiredo at first. Leadoff single by Marine, and that's it. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. 1 man left. We go to the 7th. Yolo will have a new pitcher when we get back with the score. 8-0 Yolo leading Oakland on YouTube Live. Well, we go to the 7th inning. It is 8-0 Yolo, and you can see right there on your monitor, it is the professional debut of right-hander Turner Thompson, just signed by the High Wheelers on Tuesday. Thompson, 6 feet, 208 pounds. He's 22 years old. Grew up in Tampa and played his last 2 years of college baseball at Samford University in Birmingham. So the first pro hitter he sees is Oakland catcher Tyler Lozano. 8-0 Yolo, and Turner Thompson, first base side of the rubber, kicks, and his first pro pitch is fly to center field. Garrett comes hustling in, won't get there in time, falls in front of him, base hit. So Tyler Lozano, a leadoff single. Now 1 for 3, hit number 3 for Oakland. 8-0 Yolo, 7th inning. And now here is the third baseman, Brad Burkell. So it's Lozano, Burkell on the top of the Oakland order for the center fielder in Davis. So J.C. Ariza in his return from the IL, a perfect 6th inning, 1 inning and 2 strikeouts. So now it's Burkell who's 0 for 2. And the pitch to Burkell is taken for a strike on the inside corner. And the count's at no balls and 1 strike. Turner Thompson, in 6 feet, 208 pounds, went to both Tulane and Samford University. As fastball, swing and a miss, strike 2. 0-2. So his last 2 years were at Samford. So again, we've been talking a lot about how Birmingham has been the center of the baseball world this week. That's where he went to college, at Samford. The 0-2, and that's in the dirt, and that kicks away from the catcher Mendoza along the third base line. And seeing that, Lozano moves to second on the wild pitch from Turner Thompson. And the count's at 1 ball and 2 strikes. I have yet to meet Thompson. I'll have to ask him if he's been to Rickwood Field. Rickwood Field does play host to I believe it's an NAIA school, Miles College in Birmingham. Plays its home games there. The 1-2, foul to the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes. But anyway, Turner Thompson has a strong connection to Yolo manager Billy Horton. Turner's dad, Mark, was a college teammate of Billy Horton at Spring Hill College in Mobile, Alabama. And obviously that connection helped Turner getting a chance now professionally. So 1 ball and 2 strikes the count, 8-0 Yolo. Runner at second base, Lozano. And the 1-2 pitch, and that is very high, ball 2. And the count now with 2 balls and 2 strikes. Thompson, 4 years at Jesuit High School in Tampa. Tampa Bay All-District team as a junior. Helped his team to a state title in 2019. 2 ball, 2 strike pitch, and a breaking ball inside, ball 3, 3-2. That's a pretty good high school program. Jesuit High School of Tampa, which produced a gentleman by the name of Lou Piniella. Longtime big league outfielder, predominantly with the Yankees. Of course, most of our current generation knows Lou as a big league manager with the likes of the Yankees and Reds and Mariners and Rays and Cubs. 3-2 here, and that's dribbled foul at the plate. And the count holds at 3 balls and 2 strikes. And then I believe Lou's cousin, former Met infielder Dave Magadan, also went to Jesuit High School in Tampa. So 3 balls and 2 strikes the count. I forgot, for 1 year Lou Piniella actually worked for the Giants, not in an on-field capacity, but as a special assistant. But anyway, Turner Thompson into his pro debut. And Billy Horton said about Turner Thompson that Turner can get that fastball up there at about 94 to 95. And Billy Horton thinks once Turner can maybe work on some off-speed pitches, get some things figured out, that he'll eventually get signed by a big league organization. So 3 balls and 2 strikes with Lozano at second. Yellow 8, Oakland nothing, top 7. And the 3 ball, 2 strike pitch swung on by Burkell, and he flies one to center. Backpedaling in the sun, Guerra, and the center fielder makes the catch. And no advance by Lozano as the throw comes into the third baseman, Blackford. So that's the first out recorded by Turner Thompson. 1 out. Top of the 7th inning. 8 runs, 6 hits, and an error for Yellow. No runs, 3 hits, and 1 error for Oakland. And now for the 4th time this afternoon, Oakland will go to the top of its order for the center fielder, Austin Davis. He is 0 for 1 with a couple of walks. So a 5-run bottom of the first for Yellow. The grand slam by Braden Blackford. That's the obviously big hit of the afternoon. Early in the afternoon. First pitch to Davis, and that's a strike called on the outside corner. No balls and 1 strike. Remember, it was Davis who opened the game with a walk against Sean Gamelin. Well, you thought Oakland was gearing up for that big first inning when Gamelin walked the first 3 batters, and then, as it turned out, nobody scored. Lozano leads at second, the 0-1 pitch, and that's swatted high and foul right side, strike 2. And the count moves now to no balls and 2 strikes against Turner Thompson. So 0-2 the count. Thompson delivers, and the swing and a comebacker grabbed right in front of the mound by Thompson. And he will throw on to Figueredo at first. And Davis is out. So 1-3 on the play there. Lozano moves to third base. So 2 out. And now Peyton Harden is due up. But we're going to see a pinch hitter for Harden. It's going to be Ian Jenkins. So he will pinch hit here in the top of the 7th inning. 8-0 Yolo. Jenkins, 1 hit in his first 17 at-bats for Oakland, 0-59. No homers. He has 3 runs batted in. So Lozano leads at third. Lozano went to third on that last out. Now Jenkins is swinging a miss, strike 1. And the count's at no balls and 1 strike with Jefferson on deck. 8-0 Yolo. And the pitch, and that swung on a miss. Breaking ball, strike 2. And the count's now at no balls and 2 strikes. So 0-2 the count to Jenkins, who we have seen as a pitcher and then also as a outfielder in this series. The 0-2 from Turner Thompson, and that's in the dirt. Gets away from the catcher Mendoza, but no advance by Lozano. Now with his team down 8-0 here in the top of the 7th inning. And the count at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Thompson this year at Samford, no wins, no losses. He was in 18 games with the Bulldogs with an 8.55 ERA. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And the pitch and a breaking ball, and that's chopped to short. Charged and gloved by Marine, and he will throw on to Figueredo at first. And Jenkins is out. So Turner Thompson, a scoreless 7th in his pro debut. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. And a man left. Stretch time in Davis on this Friday afternoon. We go to the bottom of the 7th. It is Yolo 8 and Oakland nothing. Oakland will have a new pitcher when we get back on YouTube Live and Flow Sports. Stretch time from Dobbins Stadium as we go to the bottom of the 7th. 8-0 Yolo. Chandler David is the new pitcher for Oakland, and Tanner Smith leads it off, and he takes a strike on the inside corner. 0-1. Smith, Blackford, Mendoza, 6-7-8 to face Chandler David, who kicks in the 0-1. Breaking ball drops it nicely on the outer half. 0-2. So David made his pro debut here on Tuesday. The first batter he faced was Tanner Smith. Well, first batter he sees today is Tanner Smith. The 0-2, and Tanner takes high 1-2, and I mentioned this the other night, and I'll mention it again. Coincidentally, both share an October 3rd birthday. David and Smith. The windup in the 1-2, and Tanner looks at strike 3, and he wants to challenge that one. He bent his back backward as much as you can. And it's a confirmed strike on the challenge, so Tanner Smith down on strikes, and that's the first out. That's the first pro strikeout also for Chandler David. On Tuesday night, worked 1 inning and walked 1. So his first pro strikeout is somebody who shares the same birthday. There's 4 people in this ballpark that have an October 3rd birthday. You got David, Tanner Smith, Trevor Halsema of Oakland, and yours truly. I think we should all get a picture of the October 3rd birthdays. So that's why, I have to point out anybody that has an October 3rd birthday must be a good person. So you got 2 good people out there, or three others out there. I'm not, maybe I wouldn't include myself as a good person, but I'm just, there is another October 3rd birthday. All right, enough of that. But anyway, the 4th pitcher is Chandler David for Oakland. Zach St. Pierre, good job in middle relief this afternoon. 3 shutout innings, allowed 1 hit. He walked 3 and struck out 4. Billy Horton discussing something with the plate umpire, Tim O'Day. No idea what they are talking about. I don't know if this has to do with the challenge. I'm not sure, but anyway, looks like 1 out, 8 runs, 6 hits, and 1 error for the hometown High Wheelers. 0-3-1 for the Ballers. And now it's Blackford, a grand slam in the first, single and a run scored in the third. He's 2 for 3. And Braden swings, ground ball towards second, and that's going to get past the second baseman, Covino, and in the right field, a base hit. So Braden Blackford, a 3-hit game. He is now 3 for 4. And now Angel Mendoza bats. By the way, Ian Jenkins, after pinch hitting in the top of this inning, he stays in the game to play left field. So now it's Mendoza, who is 0 for 1. He's been hit with a pitch and has walked. Every High Wheeler in the starting lineup has done something that would be considered productive today. Mendoza, who been on base twice, takes a strike on the inside corner, 0-1. The only one who's not been on base has been, coincidentally, Bobby Leday, the team's leading hitter, but Leday still has come through with a sac fly. No balls and a strike. Laid at first by Blackford and the pitch, and that's outside, ball 1 from Chandler David, 1-1. David, 6'1", 205 pounds. He's 23 years old. Went to school at Sam Houston State University in Huntsville, Texas. About a little over an hour north of Houston. The 1-1. Swung on, chopped toward short, could be 2. Glove by Jefferson, goes to Covino at second for 1, and on to Martinez at first for 2. That's a double play, 6-4-3 on the double play. And that concludes the 7th. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, nobody left. We go to the 8th. It is 8-0 YOLO leading Oakland on YouTube Live and Flow Sports. We go to the 8th inning. 8 runs, 7 hits, and an error for Yolo. No runs, 3 hits, 1 error for Oakland. Again, tomorrow we'll start the Flow Sports feed and YouTube live feed at 4:25 p.m. Pacific time. And we look forward to having you join us tomorrow. Pitching matchup tomorrow. It'll be for Oakland right-hander Derek Cherry and for Yolo left-hander Brandon Mitchell. The new pitcher for the Yolo High Wheelers is right-hander Noah Lewis. So Turner Thompson in his pro debut worked 1 inning, gave up 1 hit, and all zeros from there. And now Noah Lewis makes his second appearance of the series. Lewis, who is from the East Bay, he is out of Pleasanton, and then went to Contra Costa College in San Pablo. So Lewis has done a good job so far for Yolo. Been in 3 games and has worked a total of 4 shutout innings. 6'2", 190 pounds. And Lewis is 23 years old. And he will face Miles Jefferson to lead it off. Jefferson, Covino, and Smith, 3-4-5. And Lewis's first pitch is inside ball 1. And the count is at 1 ball. And no strikes. Miles Jefferson is 0 for 2. He is fly to center, struck out swinging. He's also walked. 8-0 Yolo, top of the 8th inning. And the kick and the pitch, and Jefferson swings, and he flies one high in the air to deep left field. Sends Gonzalez back, and he will be there right on the warning track to make the catch. Jose Gonzalez with the shades on, had a long way to go for it. Center fielder Guerra also came over to his right, but Gonzalez making the catch. Well, again, that's one of those, I think safe to say, that would have been well out of the Oakland ballpark. Yeah, that would have been halfway to that would have been halfway to Pleasanton. It was at the Oakland ballpark. Instead, it's 1 out. And now it's Dan Covino who comes up, and he takes low inside ball 1 from Lewis. 1 ball and no strikes. Lewis finished the game on Tuesday with 2 shutout innings. So again, this is his 4th appearance with Yolo. The 1-0 on the way, outside ball 2, 2-0. Lewis went to spring training with Yolo, and then did not make the club. Was picked up by the Professional Pecos League. The 2-0 on the way, and that swung on, driven to center field, right at Guerra. Routine for Kyle, should be, and he is there to make the catch. And Covino is out. By the way, Covino, that's his first at-bat this afternoon. So Covino flies out. Covino coming in at .217 with 2 homers and 5 RBIs. So 2 away. And now it's Jalen Smith who digs in for the second time. He struck out swinging in the second. Outfield medium depth and straightaway. 8-0 Yolo, top of the 8th. And the pitch, and Smith swings, and he pops one up down the first base side in the shade and out of play. Strike 1. No balls and 1 strike. So anyway, Lewis got picked up by the team, the new pro team in Marysville. The Marysville Drakes, about 30 miles from here, was 1-1 with a 3.3 ERA. Was a starting pitcher for Marysville, but now has been used in mid to late relief for Yolo. As the 0-1 on the way, and that's a strike 2 called on the outside corner. 0-2 to Jalen Smith. 8-0 Yolo, 8th inning, top half. And the 0-2 pitch, and Smith takes just off the plate, ball 1. So 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. 1-2 the count to Smith with Martinez on deck. And the 1-2 on the way, and that swung on, and that's popped up into right field. Tanner Smith waiting for it. And one Smith flies out to the other. So fly ball to left, fly ball to center, and a fly ball to right in order here in the 8th. Nothing across. Lewis now 5 shutout innings as a member of the High Wheelers. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. It is 8-0 Yolo out in front over Oakland on YouTube Live and Flow Sports. On to the bottom of the 8th inning. It is 8-0 Yolo out in front over Oakland. And J.P. Gates, mentioned a two-way player, and the DH today, but now moves into the pitching spot. So J.P. Gates, second pitching appearance of this series. Kyle Guerra leads it off, 8-0 Yolo, bottom of the 8th inning. And Gates' first pitch, and Guerra swings and chops this ball to second. Big bounce for Covino, and he will throw to his former college teammate at Central Connecticut State in Noah Martinez. And Guerra is out. One pitch, one out. Guerra now 0 for 2 this afternoon, so it's Guerra. And now the top of the Yolo order for the 5th time for the designated hitter, Braylon Skinner, and then Marine, so 9-1-2. Face J.P. Gates. Chandler David today for Oakland, one shutout inning, allowed one hit and struck out one. And now Gates delivers a breaking ball to Skinner, who takes a strike on the inside corner, 0-1. Braylon Skinner 2 for 3 this afternoon, a double, a single, 2 runs scored and an RBI. Gates the 0-1 pitch, and that runs inside to Skinner, 1-1. So Gates pitched yesterday. That was his first ever pro pitching appearance. 1 inning, allowed 2 hits, 1 run earned yesterday, the 1-1. And that's a strike call on the inside corner, 1-2. So Gates, mentioned a two-way player at the University of Tampa. And now the Ballers have signed him in a similar role here. For Gates, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Gates kicks and delivers, and that swung on a miss, strike 3. And Skinner is down on strikes, so for Gates, that's his first professional strikeout. And J.P. Gates, so 2 down. Skinner now 2 for 4 this afternoon. And now it's Braylon Marine who extended his hitting streak to 12 games back in the 6th inning with a base hit. And the pitch on the way to Braylon, inside ball 1-0. So when we go to the top of the 9th inning, 2 streaks will be on the line. The 1-0, and Marine a big swing and miss at a breaking ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. 8-0 Yolo leading Oakland, bottom of the 8th. Yolo has yet to pitch a shutout this year, and Oakland has yet to be shut out this year. The kick in the 1-1, and that's strike 2. The plate umpire, I think Tim O'Day, he had that strike 3 ring him up kind of motion right there, but I think it's only the second strike, and it is. Well, Tim was just getting some work in right there, just working on his strike 3 technique. Counts at 1-2, and the pitch to Marine outside, ball 2 from Gates. So 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. Well, you think about it, the Pioneer League, you're not going to have many shutouts anyway. So both shutout streaks are on the line when we go to the 9th inning, 2-2. Up and away ball 3-2. So again, Yolo has won 5 out of its last 6 games and looking pretty good. It'll be 6 out of 7. Bobby Leday waits on deck. Outfield shallow around to the left, the 3-2 pitch, and Marine goes down for this one. He pops it up. Shallow right field, and it's going to be the second baseman Covino with his back toward home plate who makes the catch. Nice play there by the second baseman Dan Covino. Yeah, the right fielder Smith in, the second baseman Covino out, but it's Covino who hauls it in, and Gates a perfect 8th inning. So nothing across. We go to the 9th. Last chance for Oakland. It is 8-0 Yolo out in front over Oakland on YouTube Live and Flow Sports. We go to the ninth inning. Last chance for the Oakland Ballers. It is Yolo 8 and Oakland nothing. 8 runs, 7 hits, and 1 error for Yolo. No runs, 3 hits, 1 error for Oakland. And Noah Martinez leads it off, facing Noah Lewis. One Noah against the other. And the first pitch to Martinez, outside ball 1-0. Lewis had a perfect 8th inning, and now would like the same thing here in the 9th. So it's Martinez, Gates, and Lozano, 6, 7, and 8. And Lewis kicks in the 1-0, and that is swung on, grounded foul down the first base side. Strike one. 1 ball, 1 strike. So 8 runs, 7 hits, and 1 error for Yolo. No runs, 3 hits, 1 error for Oakland. Outfield medium depth and straightaway. Third baseman Blackford back of the bag and well off the line. And the 1-1 pitch. And that's outside ball 2-1. I was talking to Tyler Peterson, the Oakland broadcaster, and he's been in this league for about a handful of years. And he thinks that he's only called 1 shutout in this league. I mean, that's hard to believe. I know there's not many shuts in Pioneer League, but only 1 that he's called in about 5 years. Swinging a pop-up by Martinez. The second baseman, Leday, dancing to his left and on the dirt, makes the catch. And Martinez is out. Now 1 for 4, 1 down. Top of the 9th inning, and now J.P. Gates, who is the pitcher, but it's also been the DH all afternoon. He comes up. He's 0 for 3. But, yeah, I mean, Tyler Peterson, been broadcaster with Idaho Falls. He's been with Rocky Mountain over in Colorado Springs, now in Oakland, and says he can only remember 1 shutout he's ever called. So now Gates digs in, and Noah Lewis delivers, and Gates takes inside ball 1. And the count's at 1 ball and no strikes, with the catcher Tyler Lozano wetting on deck. Third baseman Blackford well off the line, the 1-0. And Gates takes a strike on the outer half. And the count's at 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, today is the summer solstice, the longest day of the year in terms of sunlight. So it won't get dark here till probably almost 9 o'clock. As the 1-1 pitch outside 2-1. I was talking to our technical director, Mr. Michael Sapel, from Australia, the 2-1 inside 3-1. And his native country of Australia, it's the opposite. It's the start of winter down in Australia, so it's already dark right now. I mean, it's dark real early there today. So December 21st is the Australia summer solstice. The 3-1 on the way, and that's inside ball 4. So Gates draws a walk. First runner allowed by Noah Lewis this afternoon, 8-0 Yolo. And now it's Tyler Lozano who bats. It's also today the, as it is every year, the Midnight Sun game in Fairbanks in the Alaska Summer League. The Midnight Sun game. So that will be tonight up in Fairbanks, hosted by the Alaska Gold Panthers. Now Lozano swings, shallow fly ball, right center field. Circling to his right to make the catch is Tanner Smith. And Lozano is out, 2 down. And now the third baseman, Brad Burkell, will come up, who was 0 for 3. And now the Oakland Ballers down to their last out. That's an event that I'd always like to attend. That's definitely on my bucket list. The Midnight Sun game up in Fairbanks, which usually they start that game at about 10 at night, and then certainly still light at midnight up there by roughly the 4th inning. It'll be the Alaska Gold Panthers against the Seattle Studs. First pitch outside for a ball, 1-0. The next pitch to Burkell, swing and a miss, strike 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. The Midnight Sun game, a Fairbanks tradition that goes back to 1906. First pitch set for 10 o'clock Fairbanks time. 1-1 on the way. Burkell swings and misses, strike 2, 1-2. And you know, this time of year, you might only get a couple of hours of darkness. It might be like from 4 to 5 in the morning or 4 to 6 in the morning, and that's it up there. The 1-2. Outside ball, 2-2. But, yeah, that's always something I've wanted to see, the Midnight Sun game. It's a big tradition up in Fairbanks. 2-2 the count. Again, Burkell 0 for 3. Oakland down to its last strike, and Lewis's pitch, ground ball foul along first. 2-2, and again, Oakland 1 strike away from being shut out for the first time this year. And Yolo 1 strike away from its first ever shutout. And I guess it would also be the first ever time Oakland had been shut out. 2-2 pitch. And Burkell, ground ball, second base. That's gloved by Leday. He'll run the ball a portion of the way to first, tosses it to Figueredo at first. The ball game is over, and it is a shutout, the first ever in the history of the High Wheelers. Pitch shutout, 8-0. Yolo wins it. And again, the first time Oakland has ever been shut out. No runs, no hits, no errors, and a man left. Final score this afternoon, Yolo 8 and Oakland nothing. I will be back with the final totals in a moment. Final score this afternoon, it was the Yolo High Wheelers 8 and the Oakland Ballers nothing. Here are the final totals first for the victorious Yolo High Wheelers, who are now 14-11, 8 runs, 7 hits, 1 error, and 6 left. For the Oakland Ballers, who dropped to 15-13, no runs, 3 hits, 1 error, and 9 left. First time ever Yolo has pitched a shutout. First time ever Oakland has been shut out. The winning pitcher for Yolo is Sean Gamelin. He is now 1-1. The loss to Oakland's Jacob Reardon. He is 0-1. 2 hours and 45 minutes this game took. And again, an announced crowd based on rule we have here. We have to announce the attendance as 0. Well, the first inning really told the story this afternoon. Oakland, against Sean Gamelin in the first, had the first 3 batters walk. And then that was the center fielder, Austin Davis, the left fielder, Peyton Hard, and the shortstop, Miles Jefferson. And then right after that, third baseman Dondre Hubbard struck out swinging. The right fielder Trevor Halsma struck out swinging. And the first baseman Noel Martinez flied out to center, and nobody scored for Oakland. And then Yolo took advantage against Jacob Reardon of Oakland, its starter. He walked the first 2 batters for Yolo. Designated hitter Braylon Skinner, shortstop Braylon Marine. 2 batters after Marine, left fielder Jose Gonzalez, an RBI single to right to make it 1-0. Then after a walk to the first baseman in Figueredo, Alejandro Figueredo, there were 2 out. The bases were loaded. And on a 3-1 count, Braden Blackford blasted a grand slam to right field. And just like that, it was 5-0 Yolo. And that was really all Yolo needed. Blackford, home run number 5 at RBI 16, 17, 18, and 19. And Yolo would add another run in the second, a sac fly by Bobby Leday. 2 more in the third, a sac fly by center fielder Kyle Guerra, and an RBI single by Braylon Skinner. And then they were shut down after that, but it didn't really matter. Oakland never really had, well, the first inning, obviously, they had a serious threat. And then Oakland, ended up stranding 9, so they had their chances. But Yolo was able to win this one 8-0. And as it turned out, the starter for the Oakland Ballers, Jacob Reardon, did not get out of the first inning. Sean Gamelin, I didn't think was going to get out of the first inning either, but he got through 5 enough to get the win. 5 shutout innings, 2 hits, 4 walks, 8 strikeouts, a personal best for him in a Yolo uniform and a wild pitch. J.C. Ariza, in his first game back off the IL in a couple of weeks, 1 inning, 1 perfect inning, 2 strikeouts. Turner Thompson in his pro debut for Yolo, 1 inning, 1 hit, and a wild pitch. And Noah Lewis pitched 2 innings and allowed 1 walk. So Lewis so far a total of 6 shutout innings through his first 4 outings. And Yolo would go on and win 8-0. Braylon Marine, a walk, a stolen base, a run scored, and a single, extending his hitting streak to 12 games, the longest streak by a high wheeler. And we mentioned Jacob Reardon, 2/3 of an inning for Oakland, 2 hits, 5 runs all earned, 3 walks, a strikeout, a wild pitch, and of course the home run, the grand slam hit by Blackford. Abraham De Leon, 2 1/3 innings, 3 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, and a hit batter. Zach St. Pierre, a good job, 3 shutout innings out of the bullpen, 1 hit, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. Chandler David in his second pro outing, 1 shutout inning, 1 hit, 1 strikeout, and J.P. Gates, 1 inning and 1 strikeout. Gamelin the winner for Yolo, 1-1. Reardon the loss for Oakland, 0-1. 2 hours, 45 minutes this one took in front of an announced crowd by rule of 0. And Yolo wins this one 8-0. Our next broadcast will start the feed for you tomorrow at 4:25 p.m. Pacific time. Oakland right-hander Derek Cherry at 1-1 with a 4.98 ERA will get the baseball, and the right-hander will be opposed by Yolo lefty Brandon Mitchell, 1-0 and a 7.79 earned run average. 4:25 to start YouTube Live and Flow Sports, and a 4:30 p.m. Pacific time first pitch. Game 5 of this series, and Yolo leads this series 3-1 and will try for the series win tomorrow. But Yolo wins at 8-0. Again, first pitch shutout for Yolo ever, and the first time Oakland has ever been shut out. And that is it for this afternoon. The High Wheelers have now won 6 out of their last 7 games. Final score here today, Yolo 8 and Oakland nothing. Doug Greenwald saying good afternoon from Dobbins Stadium.